All right, everybody, it's Chris with Drop Dice. We're live once again doing Legend of the Five Rings, and I've got my normal cast with me here. For those of you that have been kind of looking out for the one-shot, keep your eye out. We're trying to work out schedules as far as that one goes because it's going to be kind of a weird time frame, and we'll probably have no one watching because it's like 4 in the morning that we're talking about doing this thing. But let's go down the line and reintroduce everybody since it's been a little while. We'll start with Brendan.
As per the norm. Hello, I'm Brendan. I'm playing Tsubasa. You've probably heard me say this about, 6, 7 times now.
It's our seventh.
I make swords, and I'm dying.
Yeah, we'll get to that in the recap. All right, next up is Jeremy.
Hey guys, Jeremy here, playing Kamuri Dietrich right there, little awesome guy. Playing Bat Clan member, of course, trying to save hot chicks.
Perfect. And next we'll actually skip over to Tom because Murdoch's away from the desk trying to get something done here.
Hi, I'm Tom, playing Miyamoto Kaji, Resident Dragon Clan 2 Sword Wielder.
Perfect. And then, like I said, Murdoch's trying to take care of something. Looks like he might be back. All right, perfect. You want to introduce yourself, Murdoch?
I am Murdoch. Hi. I am currently getting my food ready, but other than that, I play the Shugenja Toshiro Kakita, and I'm amazing.
It's true. Just ask any of his children.
Well, I mean,
But, yeah, so we are back this week. Last time, if you guys recall, you were actually inside a torture dungeon that was runes to the old Toshi Rambo, and you found white massive zombies inside there. I believe at least one person has a letter this week. Is that right? Did anybody else do one? Just Tom. Okay, Tom, would you like to do your letter for the recap?
Okay. I should probably preface this by saying this is not a letter to, anyone in particular. This is a letter that Kaji wrote in case someone finds his dead corpse in these tunnels, so keep that in mind. To whomever finds this letter, if you're reading this, then I can only assume that you have found this letter in my body, and I have fallen in battle. Though I do not feel regret if it is truly my time to fall, there are matters that Rokugan must be aware of. If my fellow Shikin have fallen with me and not completed our duties, then I can only hope that you have found this letter in time for its contents to be relevant. The last event to occur before me and my fellow Shikin disappeared from the public eye was the meeting between the Crane and Lion clans in Toshi Rambo to see if war was to be waged over the city. Though it is not the most relevant, I will state the conclusion my fellow Shikins and I have come to in the event this letter is found quickly enough that the matters have not degenerated in that regard. We have decided there will not be war, but as compensation for past grievances, the Lion clan should be given back to the 1 mile of fertile land that was taken during the incident with Governor Sume Genzo's men, as well as allowing the Lion to restart the blood feud over the matter of the murdered bride. In more pressing matters, during the first recess, we Shikin convened in the late Governor Otomo's office, who had recently been executed for use of Maho. By chance, we happened to stumble upon a Maho symbol etched in blood, and we immediately informed the Jade Magistrates. It was at this point that I must state that one of our number did something very foolish. Kakita Toshiro informed those present that the symbol was used for teleportation, and it was deduced that the location was most likely somewhere in the ruins of the city. Kamuri Dietrich, who I now know has been searching for a missing Shugenja from his clan and was believed to have her located there, used the symbol to teleport several of us before I could stop him. Honestly, we've been having enough problems in that regard as of late. I cannot say for certain where we are now, if we are for certain I cannot say for certain if we are now in the Undercity, but they do appear to be ruins of some sort. I suppose the silver lining to this is that the Maho did bring us to the missing Shugenja, and we did manage to free her from some Maho ritual before it could fully corrupt her. Unfortunately, since it's very inadvisable to use the Maho spell a second time, we are now trying to find our way out of this underground space the old-fashioned way, a task made no easier by the fact that there are zombies roaming these caves. This use of Maho and the missing Shugenja must be known, for if it is not, I fear the consequences will be dire. Now, reader of this letter, I must ask of you a personal favor. Go to the Jade Pearl Inn and find a geisha by the name of Nisabu. Tell her what happened to me. Tell her I am sorry that I have never had the chance to return her affections. Tell her that I thought that maybe, just this once, it could have worked. May the path to enlightenment lead you ever forward, Miyamoto Kaji.
Perfect. That was an excellent letter. I
Excuse
didn't
me, real
post it.
quick.
hmm
So we got a bottle of Coke, and the Coke wants me to share it with the party.
Somebody posted one. I don't know if it was a Photoshop
I have
job
done that
or if
now.
Coke has done it, but there is a Coke can out there that says Game Master. I thought that was kind of cool.
Hmm.
But no, that was an excellent letter. I didn't mention it inside the group, but of course you get the extra bonus experience for doing that.
Cool.
And then because you did it for the recap, you gain 1 fortune as well.
Cool.
And if you have any questions on how to use your fortunes, that is within the Google group as well.
Use it to beat somebody in a very important duel.
Right.
Or you can get household servants and things like that, allies, stuff. There's a whole list of stuff. So yeah, you guys are actually in a chamber that you well, not a chamber, but more of like a hallway that you guys have managed to secure. You decided to rest for the evening to kind of recuperate and heal a little
We
bit.
did not decide to rest.
Oh, I thought you guys did. No, you decided you were going to
We-
take a breather, not a full rest.
No, not even.
Last time I checked, weren't we still in the middle of a fight?
Yeah,
Well, we just finished the fight.
You finished.
yeah, we just finished the fight, and it's time to get moving.
Yeah,
We
you
don't-
have C, who has mortal injuries at this point, which is why I thought you guys were taking a quick, like, 5 or 2 to.
No,
take a look at it.
I was gonna cast like water on him.
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
forward. Because we ain't nobody got time for that. I don't know about how you guys feel, but I feel like ain't nobody got time for that.
Mm.
I am
There's, like-
uninjured.
There's war happening, bro.
There is the distinct possibility of war.
Ooh,
That light is waiting to flash.
that was tasty. Yes. What does that light mean? War.
War will declare.
All right. C-san. You are human, correct? You're not actually speaking.
Yes.
Okay. That is good information to have.
As far as anybody knows.
Well, it would actually matter for the spell. So I just want
Cast it. You find
Yes,
out this
he is
entire
human.
time he's been an Oni.
I mean, totally valid. I would
Actually,
roll
a
another
half-dragon.
dice against you.
Nah, I'm an Oni ninja.
Oh god, not only is he an Oni, he's a ninja.
What is the TN TN to cast this spell? Path to Inner Peace.
I don't know.
It should be
It's a level
on
1
your
spell.
list, if I recall correctly.
Nope. TNs to cast spells are not great.
Oh, that's right. It's the rank plus some numbers. Give me a second, because I realized that I did not open up my cheat sheet for this. You guys all have inside our Roll20.
46.
You're gonna make it.
For whatever that's worth. Well, he heals. Restores a number of wounds to the target equal to the amount by which the spell casting roll exceeds the TN.
Okay. So we'll figure that out here in a second, because I'm loading up the Roll20 sheet.
All right, I'm sorry. Again, I have to share this piece of pizza. It's got no discernible crust, just cheese and chicken.
Let's see, spell. Bring here. Wait, that's not right. Here we go. Cast the spell is ring plus rank. Keep ring versus mastery times 5 plus 5. So
So 10.
10.
So you will heal 35 wounds, or 36 wounds.
That seems kind of ridiculous. Wow.
I really need to print off these cheat sheets instead of keeping them on the computer. They take forever to pull up.
Hold on. It's ridiculous because 3 dice rolled 10s. Because I'm 4K2. 3 dice rolled 10s. Picked them up, dropped them. 2 dice rolled 10s. And then they rolled a fucking 5 and a 1.
Oh, I'm back at full health.
Don't worry, I will
Okay.
fail this week when we really need me to. Oh, by the way, I'm out of spells. I have Flame Sword left, which means I'm fighting hand to hand next.
It's always good for you. Except for the fact that you guys left your weapons upstairs for the most part.
I have my gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
I always get my
And
swords.
No, you don't. Only one with his sword was Tsubasa.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell did I do the last combat?
I was gonna say C and Miyamoto both had their swords because you
Okay.
guys pretty much just came into the castle from the negotiation.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, you press forward. I did mention that you guys saw that the zombies had white masks on,
Yes.
which Kakita, if you recall correctly, did some lore on that one, and found out that they are not crafted in the traditional way. These masks can actually be mass-produced and just stuck on dead bodies to make zombies.
Yep.
Through Maho.
I also have 2 halves of a mask.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you guys start kind of proceeding through the hallways here, and it's kind of a winding hallway. It kind of veers left and right, and then it branches off. And after a little bit of deliberating, you guys are kind of picking different routes and things like that. And the girl, she kind of comes around and comes back to consciousness, and she actually kind of helps guide you guys, but she can't walk on her own still. So she still does have to be carried by Komori, or whoever chooses to do so.
I'll be carrying.
So she's able to kind of lead you out to this opening, and it's kind of this big chasm, and you can see where a rope ladder came down, and there's like a pack that's been tore open, and a couple dead zombies on the ground. Well, bodies, not really zombies because they're not moving around near the ladder. She taps on you, Komori, and she says, "You can set me down now."
I'm going to tap Miyamoto, and I'm going to point to the bodies, and I'm going to give the thrust motion.
He'll like give a nod and just start like lopping off heads if they're not already there.
Yeah, you go over there to lop off heads, and you can see that these bodies have just been decimated by spells. Like, they're embedded with jade and things like that. And she goes over and starts collecting up some of the remnants of her backpack. And she says, they're quite dead. Unfortunately, I got overpowered by the ones that you killed earlier. They drug me down to that place, and I've been tied up for I don't even know how long.
Were they the ones who set up the ritual around you, or was that someone else?
No, she starts to say the word zombie, and then she kind of stops herself, and she goes, "No, those creatures don't have the capability to do so. It was another. He wore a mask, but he was a very large man. There was something strangely familiar about him."
Remember anything else about him other than that he was large?
Excuse me.
I remember his katana. The saya was made of a cherry wood. It's kind of a rare material for a saya to be made of.
Now, since I take note of these things,
Yeah, absolutely.
yep.
So,
do I need to make a roll to remember, or do I just know?
No, it's to me, it's one of those things that your character just does. So
Mhm.
you would kind of go, "Oh, cherry wood. That is quite unique," and you kind of think about it, and you go, "Oh, the former Lord Otomo actually carried a katana with a saya made of cherry wood," and you do recall that his katana was in terrible shape, that he didn't keep very good care of it, and that cherry wood saya was probably the most valuable thing out of his out of his katana that he had, because he was too busy not tending to his weapon.
Wait, so what type of weapon did you say it was?
It's a katana.
Okay. Well, that sort of belongs to the one the rest of you would expect, I think.
So here's the weird part. You get to thinking about Lord Otomo, and Lord Otomo is not a big man necessarily. Like he's kind of rounded a little bit from station, but he's not like huge hulking dude like she's talking about.
Okay. Well, the physical description doesn't match him, but
No, but it does match his cousin.
It does.
Mhm. And cherrywood is a very rare material to be used in.
Who also had a cherrywood katana.
His was wrapped. You couldn't tell what kind of wood it was.
Yes, I still say what I say.
I'm letting C know because C would have paid attention to that sort of thing.
C will C will give you a look. Just he'll furrow his eyebrows a little bit.
What?
He won't correct you, but it's certainly worth looking into.
It seems the plot would thicken. Someone hired a ninja to tell Lord Otomo to do his job, and the user did move here. Perhaps this family is just disposed to Marho. If that was the case, we may need to call the herd. It's not something we employ often at the wall, but...
When did you see the material of his katana?
By the way, I am still here. I'm just turning off the camera for a moment.
Yep.
Because when we met him, he had his wrapped.
When we met him.
Very well. So, the way you spoke, what was the girl's name again? Ranmu. So the way you were speaking, Ranmu-san, it sounded as though these were all the zombies, hopefully, or all the creatures, hopefully.
They are the ones that I recognize. I was ambushed, and unfortunately, I do not know the exact number that attacked me the second time, but I believe it to be the ones that attacked you. 5 is quite a daunting task. You are quite brave indeed. And she kind of straightens out her kimono, realizing that she kind of looks like a disheveled mess. And then she bows, like extremely polite to you guys, to show that she is in gratitude of you saving her.
Would we proper to bow back?
It would be. It'd be like saying you're welcome, essentially.
Okay, I do so.
I do so as well, and say, Komori-san is the one you should thank most.
I hold my stoic expression.
Okay. Because you have decided to go that route, she says, oh, very well. Komori-san, or excuse me, Komori-sama. It is not much, but I will give you this. And she retrieves a tanto from her backpack. And she says, please accept this with my gratitude. Without your assistance, I would not be here to be able to present you with any sort of thank you item. And she bows very deeply and extends the tanto to you. It looks like a very simple tanto when you look at it. It doesn't look like it's anything fancy.
This would be an etiquette check to understand this, right?
This isn't your courtly gift. This is kind of a gratitude thing. It would still be within appropriateness to reject it 3 times or 2 times and then accept on the 3rd request. But because it's not a courtly measure, you don't necessarily have to reject it. You kind of it's up to you if you think the party is going to hold that against you. Because if you accept it and the party's like, shouldn't have done that, then you can take status or take some shifts inside your honor.
Hmm. I'm just trying to think of if this. The problem is in his head he was only trying to do his duty. He was just trying to save her because that was what he was supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Taking a gift would be like he did it for the gift afterwards, not for what he was supposed to do in the first place.
Okay, then I would suggest you go the route of rejecting the gift.
I will do so, yes, and I'll do so very politely.
Okay. Go ahead and roleplay it if you don't mind, because you presented a very good argument as to why you shouldn't get the gift, which would serve as a good reason to reject it.
So I'll start off. Please, Ranmaru. Ranmaru-san. I cannot accept this right now. Not for doing what I'm supposed to.
Komori-sama, please accept it. It is a minor trinket, I know, but my father gave me this blade to ensure my protection. Since you have fulfilled that for him, it is only right that you bear the blade that is meant to protect me. And she'll present it again.
How do I want to say this? If your father was here to save you, would you present this blade to him for doing what he is supposed to do? I cannot accept such a gift with such great intention. I have done what I was supposed to.
She almost like, because she's from the Bat Clan, and Bat Clan's a little bit more emotional than some of the other clans, and you can see almost this pouty princess look in her eyes, but she like keeps her head down, and she goes, "My father would be proud to know that a man of your stature has emerged from our clan. Please accept it on his behalf and on mine." And she'll present it to you again, and this time you can tell she's being a little firm about it.
All right, this time I actually will give in.
Okay.
I'll take it, but as I take it,
it feels heavy.
How does she present it to me? Like how does she hand it off?
She's got her head actually ducked a little bit lower, and she's holding it upward towards you. So kind of this move.
Okay. Then
when you go to grab it, it feels heavier than a normal Tonto.
I was gonna say, as I do it, I make sure my hands. I make sure I place on her hands as I do it, and tell her if taking this means if taking this means that your life is if taking this means that you will not be protected by the blade which your father gave you, I suppose I will have to take up in its place.
Okay. The Tonto, now that you actually have it closer in hand, it's the kind that has a smooth case where there's no actual cross guard on it.
Mhm.
It kind of looks like a stick almost. If you open it, you might find out why it's a little heavier.
I will check the blade right then and there. But
Okay.
just only take it halfway out of it.
Hey, C, you lose your mind. That Tonto is made of jade. That is it. First off, takes a lot of skill and a lot of work to make a jade weapon. Second off, even a Tonto's worth of jade is quite expensive. Komori, you recognize what it is, but you know he's the weapons freak.
As soon as I see it, I resheath it
Uh,
and then put it away.
okay, so when you do unsheath it, C will actually take a step forward, losing himself, and put out a hand towards it. Then you snap it shut, and he sort of jerks a little bit and realizes himself and shuffles back until you're done with your little exchange.
I will store it on me
He looks very angsty.
after I sheath it. And if she's still bowing, I will ask her to, stand up.
Yeah, once you take it, she kind of stands up and she looks over her robes, which are just in tatters. And then you realize what she was really digging for in the backpack. She's found another set of clothing. And she looks around and realizes that there's nowhere to change, so she just kind of holds it close to her for now.
I will politely not take notice of her disheveled clothing.
Okay. She says, well, I believe it's time that we have returned and exposed what we have discovered here.
Agreed. I will hold out my hand, gesturing for her to go first up the rope ladder.
Okay.
What? Oh, yes. Let's go.
She heads up the rope ladder just fine. When she gets up there, actually, what's the order of people on the ladder? Because this does matter.
I
I'll
will
go
go with her.
first.
What is it?
I will go up first.
All right. I will follow last.
First ahead of her or after her?
Ahead of her to
Okay.
make sure there's nothing happening above. I'll just, when I step in front of her, I'll say, my lady, I appreciate the kindness that the Miramoto-san is giving you. However, we do not know what is above. Therefore, I would wish to go first, so that anything that is negative may befall me instead of you. You have already been through it enough of an ordeal.
She'll step aside and she will nod, and then she waits for you to go ahead and go first. The ladder is enough to be able to support two of you at a time without too much strain. So you head up there first, and
I was going to say C should head up there with him afterwards.
okay.
I was going to
Steve
head up
next.
last
I'll do so.
due to I also one of the few in the better conditions to fight.
Okay.
When you tell him to go up next, he was already looking at you. You realize.
Exactly.
She's going to volunteer to go towards the middle unless you guys
Yep.
do anything else.
No, I agree. And I will point out, Miramoto, you or me.
You.
And then please guard the rear.
So I shall.
Okay. So, Kakita, you make it up there first, and what you will find at the top of the ladder is a pack animal that looks like it was probably a pony. Has been filleted open. Its gut spilled out, and they seem to be sprawled across the ground. You know that this would be something that a Maho user would do. You also know, because of your training, that animal's blood is nowhere near as potent as human blood, so this probably would have been a lower spell that was used.
I'll put my hand on the ladder, like, stop.
Okay.
I'm gonna investigate to see how dead the animals are. Have they died recently? Have they died a while ago?
This animal looks like it's been dead for about a day or two. It looks like it's been picked over, some of the remains, by carrions, and you can tell like the blood is dried up and stuff like that. So it's not like it's a fresh kill.
Okay. I'll motion for the rest, and I'll say we may want to cover the young lady's eyes. It's inappropriate for her to see what is up here.
All right. So you make it up there, and let me do this real quick here. I'm pulling up ramp, and
Time to find a new Shigenja.
not quite. You make it up there. C makes it up there just fine. Ron Maru makes it up there just fine. And then it is Komori's turn. Komori.
Of course it happens to me.
Your target number is what?
For what am I looking for in this case?
For your armor, TN.
Oh, 25.
25. Okay. Perfect. You hear the crushing hooves of a horse come charging out of the trees. You guys were not really expecting this. This guy gets the jump on you.
Hold on. Oh, a horse?
A horse.
And I hate you for who you brought in.
You see a black armored individual, lance drawn, and he's just screaming this barbaric feral scream at you. He's just like, "Rah!" And he's charging in. He does hit you with the raise that he was going for.
Oh my god.
And let's see here. Now to roll his damage. He's actually going to he's going to push you off the area that you just climbed up. That's what he's doing with his
He's going to try to knock me back down?
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh, the dick.
He's going to do 42 points of damage and knock you over the edge. Kaji, or Miyamoto Kaji, you do have a chance to catch him.
I was like, what the hell is off?
Is that 42? That's 40. Is that 42 just from one single hit?
That is one single hit. Your reduction can be applied to it.
I'm
he
dead.
Charged you.
I'm dead.
Are you past 0?
Yeah.
Wow, your health track is way low.
I have 38. You did 39.
Okay. There is a chance for you to be saved because the round hasn't been over yet.
Yeah, I just want to let you know. I know. I also. Yeah.
You are technically out at the moment.
Yeah.
Alright. I try to catch his body.
You hear like this oh shit, and then like blood spray, and here comes Komori's body over the side. So you go to catch it. But what I'm going to ask for is a reflexes check. You can roll air plus reflexes. Keep reflexes.
Alright.
Or sorry, keep air rather.
Oh, go back here. 20.
20. Okay, that's enough to catch him. You grab him by the arm, and you can hear his arm just shift out of place. It's completely dislocated, but he's alive, or he's unconscious and in your arms at this point. You can tell that you're going to need to give him some first aid pretty quick. You're about halfway down, or halfway up the ladder. Or sorry, because of Komori's placement, you're almost to the top of the ladder, so you'll be able to get up and over in enough time.
Okay.
I will need initiatives.
Again, God, this is like the second time I've had to bring Komori back from the dead.
I'm sorry if I'm not meant for it. I'm meant for weird amounts of combat, not, straight up fighters.
I think he might need more.
He's not ready for dude on horse charging him.
Whoa, no. I designed Komori not to be a normal fighter. Okay. You want me to roll my my
Yes, give
initiative?
me an initiative, because they do stand a chance to reviving you.
All right.
So, because I'm going for a more heroic type of L5R, I have changed how reviving works, and it hasn't come up until now. So, basically, you will get a number of rounds equal to your Earth Ring for them to be able to revive you, instead of the standard has to be that round.
All right. They have 2 rounds.
Because I'm going to forget this every time. Initiative is your roll reflexes and keep reflexes, right?
Unless you have the initiative capability. You have a cheat sheet inside Roll20, by the way.
Also, if you have the character manager up, it tells you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
On the front sheet, the bottom left says initiative, and then it says base, modifier, current. Like -4, keep 3. I have a
Reflexes
20.
Plus insight, keep reflexes.
Hot damn.
What?
Got a 31.
Nice.
Let's keep 2 dice too.
Okay. So I need to roll that again.
Okay.
There we go. Not much better.
Okay, so it looks like Miyamoto will be first, then bad guy, then Kikita, then Tsubasa. Actually, I'm missing one from Komori, actually.
I have 20.
20? Okay. In that case, Miyamoto, you'll go first, and then
Alright.
bad guy, and then Komori, and then Kikita, then C.
Okay. Well, first turn, basically heave him over the lip, climb up, and try to keep him from dying.
Okay.
Like, is there some kind of check I have to make for this, or
No, you're actually going to be able to heave him up just fine. I'm not going to make you roll for it. There's no chance of you failing this one.
Okay.
You're stronger than you look.
Ah. The strength is in the soul.
You got soul power.
He's got high hope.
So yeah, that's my turn.
Okay, and sorry, I just got a message I have to reply to here.
That's how it is. We're not important enough for you.
Not at all. All right, so
Jesus,
Yeah,
at least
you-
he's honest.
no, I mean not at all. Like this game is more important. Unfortunately, I do have to respond to that one. So you guys you heave him up over, and you kind of start looking at his wounds. He's got a pretty large puncture wound in his shoulder blade, the one that is not dislocated. So he's all sorts of messed up in the arms right now.
It's just not meant to be.
So for those of you that are up along the cliffside, the next one is going to be the bad guy. You see him now. He is wearing black and gray armor. He appears to have an ox emblazoned on his chest, but it looks like it's been scratched out kind of savagely. He's carrying a lance, which did shatter when he did that charge, and you can see that he's pulling out a Yumi right now and trying to bring the horse around. And that's what he's going to be doing on his turn. Next up would be let's see, Komori, who is unconscious,
I'll keep on dying.
and then Kikita.
I'm going to look at this person, and I'm just going to say, halt! We are a friend. and I will prepare to cast a spell if necessary.
Okay. He doesn't seem to be slowing down. Like I said, he's kind of reeling the horse back around. Because for him to do the charge, he had to kind of go sideways. And so basically he impaled and threw Komori off the edge, but like charged past you guys, and now he's coming back around.
Well, if he's going to come back around, you need to let me know, because he's going to get Rock's Fall.
Okay. So you're going to prepare to cast on him.
Yeah.
All right. So next up would be C.
I will rush over to Komori and try to treat his wounds.
Okay. Do you have medicine at all?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. That's what you're going to be rolling.
Okay, I'm just looking up the skill real quick to see how raises work for it.
You know how raises work for it? You raise the dead.
Yeah. Do we get our... I forget, do you get what are the void each session or once you rest?
The void, it gets refreshed when you can do it through meditation or through rest.
Okay. Yes. I hate the layout of this PDF so much.
Shoot, I opened up the wrong one.
There we go.
Each successful raise on this.
Okay,
roll.
yeah. When you treat wounds, TN15 will remove 1K1 of wounds from the victim. Each successful raise allow an additional die to be rolled. No more than one die is ever kept on such a roll. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I will call 2 raises.
Okay.
One second here.
I don't mean to be mean, but do you have a medicine kit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that 54.
Okay, so you're gonna make your 2 raises. What's the total amount that you're healing back?
It's going to be, with 2 raises, it's going to be 3K1.
Okay, so go ahead and do that to figure out how much is actually healed.
Yep. I'd like a few of the 10s I had on that roll, please. I got one, 15.
Okay, so you're gonna get 15 points back, and you're gonna come back around. C is actually gonna reset that arm that's been dislocated, and then he's gonna pack up the balloon. So your other arm is good to go, but it's like a little sore.
That actually puts me at hurt. Nice.
Now that you're back around, when you come back around, you immediately sit up, and it comes to you. You're like, it's Kojima.
I'm going to I'll do that on my turn. I'll say something on my turn
Okay.
because it's not my turn.
You have a bad habit of this, Dietrich-san.
Okay. So next up is Miyamoto again. Sorry, no. Well, technically, Ranmaru is going to go. Ranmaru is going to break out her own healing kit and try and pack you up too.
I think it's only once per injury.
Oh yeah, it is once per injury. She will still break out the wound kit because she doesn't have any spells left to be able to help you in combat. So she's just kind of doing what she can do. So she's ready herself for the next person to get hit.
Probably me.
Okay. Next will be Miyamoto. This guy is still kind of wheeling back around. He looks like he's coming back in, or well, what it looks like is he's probably gonna shoot arrows your direction next.
Well, regardless, I will step in front of Komori, use a free action to draw both my swords. I can do that because I have a high enough Genjutsu. Use one simple action to assume my kata of Strength of the Dragon, and my second simple action to guard Komori. This means he gets an extra +10 on his defense.
Okay, perfect. Ranmaru starts shaking her head, and she starts muttering, "That's him. That's the man." As she's like kind of getting stuff set up to be able to tackle somebody with a healing kit. Next is going to be the Kojima character, the Ox character.
Hold on, she says that, and a Jade Strike will fly from my hands.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Because she'll just go, "That's him, that's the man," and I was ready to cast anyway. But with that, I'm using one of my 2 void spells for the day.
He's quite a large man. He looks like he's probably about as big as the newest Lord Otomo.
So, ultimately, I'm going to ask this question before I drop dice. Is he tainted?
He absolutely is.
Okay. I wasn't actually prepared to launch the Jade Strike at him.
Don't worry. He wasn't either.
This is probably true.
What is the range on Jade Strike, actually, before you launch?
100.
Oh, yeah, you can hit
That
it.
thing has a giant fucking range.
Here's hoping you hit him hard as you almost hit me.
Here's hoping he falls off his horse like I fell.
Yeah. It was a trap, bro. Sorry.
I mean, that's what people are supposed to do.
You're never going to trust ladders again.
I don't think I'm like my last character who just stopped liking ninjas because he met one ninja.
Well, this one did kind of slit your throat.
Whoa! He didn't slit my throat. He knocked me off. And are you talking about?
You mentioned ninjas and how this one wouldn't distrust ninjas immediately just because he met one.
Yeah, Dietrich does not distrust ninjas just because one slit his throat.
Okay.
And poison the shit out of you.
Okay, you think he's gonna distrust everybody for kicking his ass? Come on. What kind of life do you think he's led?
So, to clarify the out rules, normally, if you get to the out position, any additional damage after that attack will kill you. I'm going to do it as your Earth Ring is the number of rounds you can go without dying, but if you get attacked, it's going to eliminate one of those rounds.
Alright. Understandable.
Okay. Kikita, if you are ready. You've got your numbers in the chat.
With 1 raise.
Okay. So you Jade Strike and throw the Jade. You can see that he kind of like directs the horse with his knees as he's pulling this bow up, and he's actually able to get out of the way.
At 66?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought 16 was your hit. 66? No, you hit him.
What did you say?
You have 2 numbers right next to each other. That's why I was...
Oh, 16 was my initiative. 66 was the hit. And I had 1 free raise, which I don't know what a free raise does on Jade Strike at the moment.
Oh, I think it can do like extra
Raises
damage.
damage. Yep. Okay, so I'm normally the spell is normally 3k3, but Cooney shit ass. A language.
And he's what language? And he's tainted. And you got a raise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I am rolling 3. Oh Jesus, I'm rolling 5 dice again. Is he non-human?
He is human.
Okay.
Sorry, bro.
Oh my god. I might have to check the weight of these 2 dice. I bought a new set of dice, and the D10 is just rolling ridiculous right now.
And you didn't consult the video immediately.
The saltwater trick. It only works with round ones. Your D20s and your D12s will work with it.
Shut up.
44 damage.
44. Okay. Yeah, you hit him, and you're actually going to hit his mount as well, since it's actually no, because your spell only targets one person, not an area, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I could, in theory, target 2 with the raise, but
You decided
yeah.
to do more damage instead. Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. I was not aware that I would roll 66 and throw out like 30 raises that I could have possibly done.
Yep. So
That's
with
the gamble with
44,
raises.
okay, with 44, you drop him down. He looks pretty hurt. You can see him like kind of heft up the bow. He still looks like he's going to go in for an attack again. He doesn't look like he's had enough. Next up is going to be him. He's going to shoot and then retreat because that was a pretty big attack that he wasn't ready for. Okay. It's going to be 25 to hit your target number, Murdoch.
Oh yeah, I'm 15.
Okay. All right, so he did not call any raises on that. That is a standard.
I need fucking barrier spells is what I need.
We had someone who's good barriers.
So I should not apologize for this, but I'm going to. I forgot that he has emphasis on his lance attack, so I probably would have done more damage to Komori.
I mean, does going above my out automatically?
No, it
kill me?
doesn't, but it's hilarious when you get high numbers like that.
There you go.
The total damage would be 31 to you.
Okay, I'm grazed.
Okay. Yeah, he sees that you don't go down with that hit, so he's going to reconsider his plan, and he's actually going to cut the horse a different direction and go back into the woods.
Whose turn is it?
Next would be actually you again.
The fuck he says? Is he within range?
No, not anymore.
How far out of range?
You wouldn't be able to catch him because he's on horse. Like you can start to close that distance, but you won't be able to close it enough to be able to cast again.
No, I can cast, and one of the raises for Jade Strike is to increase the range.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you wanted to do that, let's see.
Jade Strike is such a fucking great spell.
You would be able to do it this turn, but if he keeps going, he's going to outpace you. This is kind of your one-ditch effort to do it.
No, I need to know how many races I need to, though, is the question.
You'll need one raise.
He's at least 10, or he's at most 10 feet out of range.
Oh, it's 10 feet per raise? Then you'll need 6 raises.
Okay.
I thought you said 100.
I will call 6 raises.
Okay.
Remember, I have one free one.
Yep.
I still think you need to have like 5 void to do that.
I do. I only have 2
rank,
void.
actually, that limits
All right, then.
for the spending of void. That's how that works. No, you can call as many raises as you have void,
So I only
Yes.
have 2
but
void.
the void is expenditure is a little bit different. Okay, so with 2, if you don't want to cast, you are going to know that 2 is not going to get you enough to get to him.
Okay. Then I will.
Reluctantly let him go.
Does anybody have a bow here?
I'm afraid not.
Hmm. Well then, that is unfortunate. Then I will heal myself.
Okay. Are you healing magically, or are you taking the med kit that's been like standing by for you?
I'll heal magic. Scheist. I'll heal magically at this point.
I was gonna say, keep in mind, since you are out of spells, you're now in that category of casting past.
I have one more water spell to cast.
Oh, okay. You were talking about your earth spells, that being your last.
My Earth spell, no, my Earth spell, I'm already in Void, in my 2 Void spells for the day.
Okay.
I'm now down to only 1 Void spell for the day.
Okay.
So, and there's no raises for this, so I'll just roll it normally. 18 plus 5. 18 and 5 is 23, if I'm not mistaken. Which my TN of 10 to hit, so I get 13 points back.
Okay. So go ahead and add those 13. Not that it's going to do anything. Ronmaru is going to go around and patch wounds anyways. So she'll apply like fresh bandages and stuff like that.
She can actually use the heal check on me.
Yes, she can for you. The others, there hasn't been actually... She can on C as well, now that I'm thinking about it, because he hasn't received an actual heal check.
Not from his last one, no.
So let's see here. Oh, Jesus Christ. What was it for heal?
It's TN15, and you can call as many. You can call raises. Each raise will raise the dice rolled by 1. Base, it's 1k1.
Oh, okay. She didn't call anything for you because she's an NPC, so you will get 1 keep 1 for your healing back. 19 back for C. Again, she is an NPC, so she's not calling any raises. She'll hit her target number.
I'll gain 2. Got it.
You will gain 3.
That's better than 2.
I'm still healthy at the moment.
Mm-hmm. The rider rides off. Komori, you recognize who this is. It is your.
Well, they're all getting
evil...
patched up. I'm kind of like watching out from the distance, watching them right off.
Yeah, you know who this is. This is Kojima, and you know that he has sworn to kill you. He's made it his mission. In fact, it's because of the way he acts, you're a little surprised that he even fired an arrow at Kikita, but it was probably because Kikita lit his ass up with some Jade Strike there.
As while I'm still watching off in the distance and you guys get patched up, I will just say out loud, I apologize for bringing my troubles into your life.
Care to elaborate on that one?
He has been after my head for a long time now.
Why?
Tell me, what would you do if someone ruined your life to the point where you were not even allowed an honorable death? You were forced to go become a Ronin.
Turn to Maho, I guess, from what we've seen.
Kaji will actually like stare off into the distance for a moment and think.
Did you think?
I like how C made that joke, and right now Kikita's making a mental note in his head. Watch out for C. May turn to Maho.
I did not think even he could stoop low enough to utilize such darkness.
The last time you saw him, which got him shamed, he was a part of the Kalat, which normally the Kalat do not dabble in blood magics.
Yep. Like I said, I didn't think even he was shameful enough to use it.
Mm-hmm. That was louder than I expected.
Isn't it usually?
By the way, Kaji is also injured from the last fight with the zombies. He just hasn't mentioned it.
Yeah.
That's cool. This giant gash is nothing.
I was going to say, in that case, Ronmaru will patch you up unless, a player wants to do it so you guys can get some raises.
I'll take care of it.
I'm sorry if I don't have the medicine check. Or hit. Or
I will
anyway.
call 2 raises.
She has no void right now, so that's part of the reason why she's not calling raises and stuff like that. She's just exhausted.
You guys are making her
Which
work.
you guys can see quite clearly that she's trying to push past her exhaustion and everything to be able to provide you guys the assistance and help that she has so far.
Okay, so I
So
rolled
what has that been?
30 against the TN 25,
Okay.
and you are healed for 17 damage.
All right, I'm pretty good.
Clutch on those 10s on the heal checks today.
Perfect.
All
So,
around.
yeah, so you guys kind of settle up, and if you would like to make an awareness check,
I will
you may
be
do
doing
so.
so. Two key. What is that? Oh no, that's sorry, I'm like out of it. That's I need to bring up this cheat sheet because I'll never remember everything properly off the top of my head.
The awareness check, it's going to be
Unless it's literally just the awareness roll, you know. in
yeah,
itself.
it's roll air plus awareness, keep air.
Hmm.
Unless you have a skill that could help you. If you would like to investigate and go over and like poke around where the horse was and stuff like that, you could do that as an option as well.
That is happening.
Okay. So for investigation, I believe you actually have that skill, but if not, it is
I do.
investigation perception.
I do.
Okay.
I got 25 on my awareness. For what it's worth.
All right. Give me a second. Got to roll my 7 dice.
Oh, that's right. That's your good one.
I have rank 4 in it.
Yeah, which is pretty brutal at rank 1 for school or insight rank 1.
That was the goal. That's a 52.
Okay. So you search around the area. You can see that the Jade Strike, a lot of the jade had been kind of eaten away. So it does look like he was tainted. That much you can confirm. Kakita knows it for certain because of the way the spell works.
Yeah.
But you can see visual evidence of it. You can see that one of his saddlebags tore open and a few items have fallen to the ground, one of which is a scroll, and the other is a porcelain mask that is a little chipped from hitting the ground, but is otherwise intact.
I will not touch said items. I will call Kakita-san. I found...
Kakita is breathing heavily, and he's on the ground. He looks to be attempting to meditate, just for the record. So he doesn't immediately respond to you.
Okay. A meditation attempt takes 10 minutes. The investigation also happens to take 10 minutes. So you'll be able to do your meditation roll, and if he gets your attention, it would be fine. You'd still gain the benefits of your meditation.
Okay. So I'd like to meditate.
Okay.
Because I need my void back.
Wait.
Yep, it's a target number of 20. You can, of course, call any raises you want.
Nope, no raises. I will not make my target number.
Okay. You find it difficult to kind of center yourself to be able to make that meditation. It could be that stinging wound that you've got going on right now. Like even patched up, it's not the best to have an open wound. But
as he calls over to me, I'll lift an eyebrow, and with my eyes closed, I will say, "Can I help you, Komori-san?"
I'm sorry to interrupt your rest, but there are some items over here that he dropped that I think it would be best if none of us truly touched.
So then, why should I touch it?
Not touch, confirm what they really are. One, I believe, be one of those masks.
We should be moving as quickly as possible towards town. Our absence will not go unnoticed. And with this person on the loose, it may benefit us to have a larger group.
With that, I will look at my surroundings and see if I know where I am.
Yeah, you are not too far outside of the city. It's maybe about like a 30-minute walk to get back around to the city. This is where those runes opened up that you were made aware of.
What sort of or is it just woodland, like plains, just out in the middle of nowhere?
It's woodland, but it is kind of on the lion side of Toshi Rambo, so it is kind of low, like plains grass area. You kind of can scan back, and you can see through the little bits of woods that are by this opening. You don't see the horseman or hear him. And what he was riding was a very heavy horse, so the fact that he was able to keep it still and hidden from you guys as you came up showed he's quite the rider. And then as you kind of scan back around, you see Toshi Rambo. You won't need to make a test for this. You're actually going to notice it because you're actually kind of taking a time to observe your surroundings while everybody else is doing their thing. So, like during the 10 minutes, this is what you're doing. You will smell the smell of smoke on the air, which will kind of get you to start looking around to see things. And then all of a sudden, like, there's this moment where the camera kind of pans in, and you can see this camp that is maybe about 2 hours away from Toshi Rambo on the side where the Imperial Guard are not. So this is the side that would be exposed on the Lions territory side. There seems to be quite a large camp over there.
And I'm way too far away to see bands or anything if it's 2 hours away, I'm guessing.
You're too far away to be able to see Mons specifically, but if you had to guess by the colors of tents and things like that, that's probably a lion army.
Well, we're on the line side of Toshi Rambo, about halfway from the city, but we might have a bigger problem than a single Maho on our hands. And he will point to the camp.
What's wrong with it?
A lion host 2 hours away from Toshi Rambo.
You don't think the crane would do the same?
Chris, is this against sort of the spirit of peace talks? You know, bring an army.
It is kind of against it, but the lion would do it. The crane would not. The crane would instead bring elite soldiers and seed them through the city that just happen to be there on their own business. But that's just how the crane operate. The crab would bring an army as well. It's totally dependent on who you are.
Chris, don't put that seed in him because he's seen me throw out some ridiculous spells. I'm out of spells, and
Chris,
then throwing a more powerful spell.
Murdoch, remember, he said the crab would bring an army. You did. Remember? You got those guys
I
at
did
the
bring
gate?
an army.
Okay, so in that case, either way, yes, we need to get back quickly.
They usually wait for a signal. So, I mean, they don't appear to be marching on the city, so chances are a signal hasn't been given to them.
Hopefully they don't use our disappearance as an excuse. What time of day is it?
The time of day is around about 2 now. So you guys have been gone for a while because the meeting was at noon, and you guys were fairly quick about your work. So usually by about 12:30, you guys already had an answer of, okay, we've gotten all the information we need. We're going to deliberate, and then you've been gone for about an hour and a half inside that cave.
All right. It'll take half an hour to reach the city from here.
That should be enough time, unless I am severely overestimating their patience.
All we can do is do it as fast as possible.
Agreed.
Oh.
One last question before we head out. Those items. Destroy them, leave them, take them.
If we don't have time to investigate, we should destroy them. It's best to not leave them in enemy's hands.
Are you asking me or?
We're discussing because he's not discussing it with you. He's discussing it with Kaji. Not to be rude about it. What he's doing is because you.
In game.
Oh. Sorry, that was in game. Okay. When you say that, he'll say, "You seem to want to ignore the items."
No, I don't want to ignore them. I just think that we have slightly more pressing matters to attend to than sitting here and investigating them.
So we destroy them and move on.
Okay. No.
So
We should gather them in silk and move on. Does anybody have silk?
that's exactly what I was going to suggest for you. Yeah, kimonos happen to be made of silk. You all have obis. If you are willing to make yourselves look a little disheveled, you could actually just take off your obi, or even if you would like to suggest it to Ranmaru, since she has extra clothing with her, she has extra silk
I
available.
will take off my obi.
Okay.
I will look disheveled.
I will thank you, or I thank you. I will take
I mean,
the obi from him,
disheveled
and
for a
we'll gather up the
samurai.
items.
Essentially, the top of your kimono is open now.
I mean, I already look like I've been beaten half to hell. Okay, should be understandable.
hmm So yeah, you start heading back towards the city, and it's definitely kind of an easy track, and you don't get bothered or anything else along the way, so you don't have to worry about that. The thing that is kind of catching you off, it's going to be a slash roll, and then that information.
Oh, okay.
And 2 exclamation points at the end. I forgot about that.
Jesus, tits. That's kind of
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's why you should use the roll keep buttons I added to your screen.
You have to. That's part of Roll20.
I don't see where those are.
It should be right underneath our names on the left-hand side.
Button that says roll keep.
Nope.
Go to your cog.
Nope. Oh, cog. Hold on.
Uh-huh. There should be macros
Oh.
inside there.
Yep,
You-
in bar. Got it.
Make those in bar. That's all it is. And then it will give you a prompt box, and it'll say how many do you need to roll, how many do you need to keep. There you go.
User awesome.
Yeah, I wrote the macros because the scripting is kind of weird, to be fair.
So, Chris, as we're walking along, I will make sure of to keep attention to Ranmaru her stamina in case she is wavering.
Yeah, she's pushing forward, but she seems to be having a little bit of difficulty with it. Not enough so that you think it would be appropriate for you to extend extend assistance to her. She seems to be kind of prideful.
Yeah, which is
Is
why I am waiting.
Is she physically injured?
Yes, quite a bit so. She has not tended to her own wounds.
All right. I'll Good luck, buddy. I'm going to look at Tsubasa because we had that talk about what the crane would do. Well, don't you think the crane is doing the same thing? Look at myself and just go, son of a bitch. I'm only propagating Miramoto's ideal. Oh, I will instead do it this way. Let's see.
I thought we had already given her a check when we first discovered her.
Yeah, you kept her from dying. She's still pretty bad.
Okay.
No one's done
I hate
anything
that.
since.
14.
Okay. So yeah, you
Get a 10,
heal her up.
so 4.
You heal her up. You're using your magic to do so, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You heal her, and then she immediately turns around, and it's like mom caught you doing something bad. She gives you that kind of look, and she's like, Kikita-san, don't waste your spells on me. We do not know what else is out here.
Believe me, I am already out of spells. And I look at the party.
So, you keep saying that. I'm not sure you know what that means.
Are you familiar with how Shigenjas work, Miramoto?
Vaguely.
You know we draw upon the void when necessary, right?
Yes, I know. I just find it
Ready?
amusing.
For any earth or water spells, I'm done. And I'm also unable to draw upon the void anymore on this day.
So, Kikita, you are, however, in the know. You still have the option to accept Maho into your heart, like the Lord and Savior that it is, and still continue to cast. If you would like to pursue that option, keep in mind.
Oh, I have knowledge Maho now. Yes, I'm aware.
But once you go down that dark path, it's a no return street.
Oh, I'm aware.
Once you go blood, you don't go back.
Okay, so yeah, the journey back is fairly easy. It's lowland plains in the area, so it's not going to take a whole lot of time to get there. So you guys start heading back, and once you get to the gates, you can see that the guards are a little bit nervous because they can clearly see the Lion army camped out like just a 2-hour march away from the city.
I'll stroll up to the gate guards and be like, "Good morning."
It's the afternoon.
Oh, is it afternoon already? Jesus. Good afternoon.
And one of the guards, he kind of breaks his gaze, and then and he looks at you, and he's about to ask for your papers, and he says, Kikita-san, you are needed at the negotiations. Do you require an escort through the city?
We were at the negotiations.
I unfortunately was not aware that you had decided to leave the city.
We had matters to attend to elsewhere. Please, bring us... You were saying, Miramoto?
Some of us didn't decide anything.
Correct. We had matters elsewhere that needed to be attended to. Please, post haste. We need to arrive at those things. Our judgment has been reached.
Excellent. One moment, and he kind of runs off, and you can hear him shout, like banging on a door, and he starts yelling at somebody. And around the corner comes a group of rickshaw drivers, and he says, "Please,
Rickshaw.
Your presence is requested post haste. Unfortunately, we have been told that the negotiations have not been going well in your absence."
That happens.
This is the part in the anime where they start playing with the wooden block instrument. I forget what it's called really fast.
Mm-hmm. So you guys, do the rickshaw run through the city scene, and you make it back to the castle gate, and the man that you had exiled has decided that he will not be sitting at the table, and he's taken up a seat across the room. The rest of the delegates are all at the table, and they seemed very genuinely shocked when you come through the front gate.
We need to go back through through the office. We'll go back.
Matsu Kazuma kind of looks like he's sweating. There's a couple sheets of paper in front of him since he was pretty much left here to be the Shiken on his own.
Yeah. Matsu, we require your honorable and most wise help in deliberations.
Yes. Please forgive me. And he stands up and he bows to both participants, and the other lion governor, Akoma, pretty much just kind of waves him off and seems to be like, this is below me now that he's been kind of exiled.
Are we going back to the office?
Yeah, fuck that. I'm wondering where the Emerald Magistrates are, or the Jade Magistrates are.
Oh, they're in the office. They've got that shit barricaded, and they've got candles set out. They're trying to decide what exactly to do with the Maho circle.
I'll
Because
knock on the door.
it's one of those things that, like, don't touch it, but we have to destroy it somehow.
I'll knock on the door.
They see you in the cup. They like the crane like cracks the door, sees you, opens it just enough for you guys to slip in sideways, and
I
kind
will
of
bow when he opens the door with a smile on my face.
So this is one of the first times you've heard him speak, the crane, because he hasn't really talked very much during the whole thing, and he goes and he says, "They're back," and he starts coughing really hard, and you can see the flecks of blood coming out. It looks like it hurts him immensely to try and speak words, and that's probably why he hasn't talked.
I'll just look at him and be like, would you care for some tea while we discuss this? I have a special kind that come from the Kuni.
He nods. See, it's almost unsettling. From the conversation that seems to be happening between Kikita and then the crane, Daidoji Kagor, his condition seems to be like that of your father's, but you never knew your father to be Shadowlands tainted.
Okay. I will prepare some Jade Pearl tea
Okay.
and say, if you'd like, I can leave some of this with you.
He nods, and you can see that there's a genuine look of thank you, but you know why he's not talking now.
I know why he's not talking, and he knows why I'm not calling it Jade Pearl tea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to keep his honor intact, ultimately.
Absolutely. So he drinks the cup, but he stays by the door, so he keeps the small cup with him, and he kind of nurses at it.
Yeah. Welcome. The Matsu's with us. Does he come in?
Yes, he does.
He's one of our Shikin.
Well, Matsu-san, these are Emerald Magistrates. They are obviously performing their duties, I would assume.
You remember that he was here when you guys all hit the circle and left, so he is aware that stuff went down.
Oh, okay.
That changes everything. You know what shit's going down. Don't act like you don't.
You say that, and you see him stroke his beard like he's going to say something, and he decides it's best not to.
I will just be like, oh, we found these too. Mask of zombiness shit that the old guys used.
You unfold the
Also
silk,
a
and
scroll.
you unfold the silk, and Tagashi Nezu, the Dragon Clan member from the group, immediately draws his blade and bears down on the mask like it's going to get up and get him. The two Phoenix kind of taken aback and watch you unfold the other items in front of them, and they do that weird twin speak thing where they don't actually say anything, they just look at each other, nod a couple times, and then they decide, okay, it's best. Isawa Kiko steps forward and she says, it's best that we destroy these and not discuss it with our guests. We do not want further degradation in the negotiations.
No, they say do not, and I blatantly cut her off and say call the room.
I was going to say complications to the negotiations, but yes, that would be an unnecessary or a necessary evil of explaining that to our guests.
So, we also found...
Akito kind of folds the fabric back over him, and you can see that he's setting out candles and basically getting set to light the shit on fire.
I feel like I've done a little more explaining than I feel necessary today. I will tap Miramoto on the shoulder and be like, I believe this is all you. I still need to meditate.
He'll just like gestures like, go right ahead. So,
And I'm going to attempt to meditate again, Chris.
Okay, that's fine.
so after we
Your target number is still 20.
So, after we teleported, we found ourselves in some kind of ruin. strange architecture. Not quite sure what was off about it. Is there something odd? Regardless, down there, a short distance in, we managed to find. Is the Shugenja with us?
Yes.
Yes, Ron Maru is with you.
We managed to find Ronmaru. She had been, how do I put this, forced into some kind of dark ritual. As you can see, we managed to have rescued her without anything becoming too problematic. After which we decided to take the long way back because, well, once was enough, I think is safe to say. On traveling outside of the ruins, we encountered a few of, well, these creatures, I say, gesturing to the cloth that holds the zombie mask. They were difficult, but we managed to deal with them. After which we finally managed to escape the ruins and go back up topside. The entrance is about 30 minutes walk. Which direction to come in? East, west?
Through the lion camp.
Yes,
Yeah, through the lion camp.
which would be to the west, by the way.
To the west. Unfortunately, before we could come straight back, we were attacked by a man. Apparently, he has some history with Diedrich here. I do not think it is my place to explain that. You will have to ask him. Regardless, we made our way back as post-haste, and here we are.
They kind of discuss and they look over and they say, Ron Marusan, or John. Mm-hmm.
I think you left out a very key detail, Miyamoto-san.
Are you referring to how the man who attacked us was also the one who imprisoned the Shugenja?
Well, possibly. That is unknown for sure. However, the Maho that was written on the walls, did you discuss that?
Well, no, you told me not to look at it.
Correct. Which is why you left out a key detail. One that, personally, I'm reluctant to inform anybody of exactly what it is, but safe to say we cannot destroy that teleportation circle.
Can you explain why?
Because there will be some very interested people here to deal with this infestation post-haste.
Ah, the witch hunters.
Yes. This is... I look at the Jade Magistrates.
The Jade Magistrates don't look alarmed by the fact that, apparently you called witch hunters. They instead kind of look to each other approvingly. Like, yeah, that was the best call.
I look at them and I go, my apologies to all of the Emperor's chosen Jade Magistrates. However, I felt that this infestation required a more specialized touch that only the witch hunters can provide.
It seems that this is Akado speaking, the male. He says, it seems that you and I are on the same page. It was my intention to involve your teacher's clan in this matter. They are the most specialized, and you can see that he's not saying that to, like, a lot of speech in L5R in Rukugan is kind of like talk around speech. It's not really, it has depth, but you can see that he does seem to have a little bit of respect for the witch hunters.
I will say, hopefully, when you make your reports to the Emperor or the Jade Champion, you will include my name as a candidate for Jade Magistrate. Since it would be incredibly difficult for me to become a witch hunter. I'll look at my clan mon for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm. Your assistance has been noted, is all that Akodo will say.
I will thank him and bow.
I kind of regret it now.
Huh?
I said I made their names so close on purpose, and I kind of regret it now.
They're twins. They're supposed to regret it.
Okay, so yeah, they go to work destroying these items, except for the desk, because you guys said that you think that it would be best to leave that intact. And then you hear kind of like a commotion coming from the negotiation room.
Can we not leave these children for 5 minutes?
Such is the life that we have been presented with.
All right, I will head back out.
Mm-hmm.
You come out, and you will see that the new governor, the Taisa Otomo Daisetsu, the governor interim, I should say. Daisetsu has stepped in between two people, and the two people that he stepped in between is Governor Akoma and Governor Sume. They both have swords drawn, and you can tell that the interim governor Otomo Daisetsu is attempting to defuse the situation because he's got his hands up in between the two of them, and he's telling them, you will not draw blades in my house.
Let me approach this. It's like I will just like calmly step into this. It's like, oh dear, I asked what seems to transpire while I was out.
By the way, Chu Akito Haruko, the champion that failed in her duel, has remained silent and in a kneeling position at the table and has quietly accepted anything that happens during the negotiations without rebuttal.
Interesting.
She, even during this sword-drawn tense scene between them, she still remains at the table, patiently waiting for your decisions.
Because in her eyes, we are absolutely right in the kami.
As it should be.
She's attempting to save face as best as possible, even though she's being exiled. Whereas Akoma is being boorish about his exileship.
All right. Does anyone answer my question as to what's going on here?
It does not seem like anybody is going to answer you. You kind of politely say, what's going on here, and the two governors are still just like deathlocked at each other, and Otomo Daisetsu's in the center, and he says, if you do not put down your blades in my house, I will have both of your heads. This negotiation will go through, and we will leave here as men of honor. The interim governor will look to what was his name, Wotaka, and he says, Wotaka, fetch me my weapons. If this continues, by the time Wotaka gets back, I will kill both of you. You see both of them kind of hesitate. You know that Daisetsu is known for being a spear fighter and quite skilled at what he does. Or sorry, not a spear fighter. I forgot. That's not that character. He uses a meteor hammer.
Damn.
He's quite skilled at what he does.
He
I
knows
will
to wreck
look
shit
to my
up.
companions and sort of give them a look, saying like, "Are we ready
Yeah,
to?"
like I was gonna say there stands a chance that he might destroy half the castle if he goes in here meteor hammer swinging.
So yeah, I look to my companions with the looks. And are we?
Kakita, you've had a couple like heart-to-heart conversations as a cousin to Governor Sume, and you know for a fact, because you're a little prideful, that you stand the best chance of getting Sume to back down and accept negotiations.
Correct. I'm waiting for C though to finish what he's got to finish.
Okay.
I'll look to my companions. Are we ready to give our judgment? I believe we're in agreement before. Might be best to cut this short.
I would agree, Tsubasa. Now, if we could all come down, I believe that us Shikin have judgment to issue. Are they still also standing there?
They seem to be a little bit more hesitant as you hear like Wotaka heading down the hallway. The only one that doesn't seem to, like the one that's more hesitant is Governor Sume. It looks like the Governor Akoma is pretty dead set on getting himself foolishly killed, in your opinion.
What does he have to lose in his mind?
Pretty much.
Is Sume is backing down though, or he's just looking hesitant?
He looks hesitant. He's lowered his blade a little bit, so he's no longer in like a proper stance, but he still has his sword out. You guys are most likely going to have to interact. If not, you have the feeling that they're going to stay in that position.
I'm just gonna go nail at the table. Is there tea or something?
There is.
I'll have tea.
Okay.
Okay. I will go to Governor Sume. Sume-sama, or Lord Governor, you have delivered your judgment and your justice for your son. We Shikin have come to our agreement, and we will finish the job.
He kind of looks at you, and he thinks about it for a second, and then he sheaths his weapon. And Akoma starts laughing, and he says, "Coward," and sheaths his own. Wataka enters the room with this heavy chained meteor hammer that looks almost unwieldy even for a meteor hammer because the ball on the end is so huge. But it's appropriately sized for the big man Daisetsu is.
Big man use big weapon. Kill
And
things hard.
Daisetsu looks at Wataka and he says, it appears that a concord has been struck. My tool will no longer be utilized in this negotiation. And he kind of waves off Wataka, who looks frustrated that he has to carry this heavy-ass thing through the house again.
Shouldn't be so efficient at his job.
Daisetsu goes and sits down, and then eventually both governors sit down. And then Akoma does something kind of strange. He breaks out a piece of paper and he just lays it down on the table in front of him.
Interesting.
They sit and wait for your
Etiquette check?
yeah, absolutely.
I forgot. There's this thing.
There is this thing.
22.
Okay, perfect. What he's doing is within the rules of etiquette. He is fine. He is allowed to do such things. More than likely, it is not a death haiku that he's presenting to you, if that's what you're thinking. But it could be any number of things.
You might be waiting for the signal or giving the signal for war.
That is entirely possible.
All right. Well, all right, I guess I'll take it on this one.
But you don't think so, since nobody is like moving around or anything like that.
Is there like a particular etiquette for me, like announcing our decision, or do I just say it?
So you would address it in the order that the grievances were brought forward. So the first grievance was the capture of lion lands from the Crane. So you would address that problem first. The death of Sumetaru would be the second one, which you guys decided on a blood feud. And then the last one would be the official decree on whether or not there would be war, because technically that's its own grievance and thing.
Okay. So, on the matter of the taken land from the lion, you have decided to rule in favor of the lion. The stretch of land shall be given back to them post-haste. On the second matter of the blood feud, we have ruled in the favor of the lion. The lion is allowed to restart their blood feud with who they see fit. On the third
Hold on just a sec. You got your blood feud mixed up. You said the lion is allowed to start the blood feud with who they see fit. It should be the crane
who
seeking
won
the blood feud against
The lion.
actually Governor Acoma personally.
Oh, I thought that
No,
the lion.
It was someone who died a few generations ago, and there was the descendant of.
Oh, sorry.
that
Yes, you're
person.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the duel decided the crane's problem with the lion, but the lion still have a problem with the crane.
Yeah, because like a few generations back,
So
the lion
they're
was
allowed to.
killed.
Yes, they're allowed to continue their blood feud.
As we have deemed it honorable.
Mm-hmm.
So we deemed it
Which Kikita, you know it's against your house.
My family or my specific house?
The Kikita family overall, not
Okay.
your house. I'm sorry, I
So
misspoke.
I'm not involved, technically,
Not directly, but
unless I get involved.
yeah, you could insert yourself just like any other crane could and stand in the way of the blood feud.
And finally, on the third and final matter of whether or not there shall be war, in light of the concessions we have already granted to the lion, we have decided that there will be no war.
Governor Sume kind of mulls it over and he says, I can agree to this. And you've presented a document that basically says all this stuff. And Sume signs it. Governor Acoma laughs and he says, I cannot sign this.
May I ask why?
I have been exiled. I am no longer in charge of the Lion's decisions.
That's actually a good point.
Matsukazuma kind of thinks for a moment, and he says, unfortunately, I lack the station to sign for him. We must find another Lord Governor to sign this document. If not, they choose to do what they choose. Governor Acoma seems quite happy with himself right now. He gets up and then walks away from the table, leaving the note on the table.
Oh, I just want to kill his ass. Oh,
Chu Akado Haruko, however, remains seated at the table because she is patiently waiting for you to give her the permission to leave to go to the colonies.
Interesting. Okay, would I be able to know off the top of my head who the next lion in command would be?
Most likely his son, which would be at Permission City.
no,
He is
it's not his
also
son.
being exiled.
His son was also exiled.
That's
yeah.
right. You sent his whole family. In that
No,
case,
We didn't do shit.
And so does a new governor have to
yes,
be?
it was actually his decree that the loser would be exiled. So it's the loser and their family. So yes, his family technically is no longer in leadership. The problem is the Lion Daimyo for the Acoma family would technically be the next person you should.
I
go
have to ask this question, Chris, because it will matter.
Mhm.
Are we technically enduring an insult?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Because technically he does have the ability to sign the document. He is simply saying no to spite you.
Okay. I will stay seated, and I will put my tea down, and I will say, former Lord Governor, if I may have a word with you.
Forgive me. My boat leaves shortly, and the travel to the Crane Lands will take some time.
I will make sure that you get there. We will provide whatever is necessary to stay your honor. But I believe that your honor demands, as I am told that
He
you...
has continued to walk as you're kind of shouting to him. He's like exiting the walls or the courtyard now.
Then perhaps what I heard about you is true. You are an honorless dog that murdered the crane.
Oh man, he's in such a dick mood right now. He's actually going to look back and he'll say, "The kami have spoken." He'll bow curtly and then exit the gates.
Grade A douchebag.
What a petulant child.
You can see that Akado Haruko is quite beside herself at the things that she's witnessing. while she's trying to maintain her own honor as best as possible at the table.
That
She does not
dude,
seem
by
to
the
be
way,
happy
just
with-
lost so much honor.
Oh yeah,
Just for the record, he was up here and then he went, no!
yeah. You exiled him. He already lost like half of his honor to begin with, and then well, he got himself exiled, so he lost half of his honor to begin with, and then he's just like, nope, I'm already on a downward spiral. Can't get much worse. Let me make it worse.
Send for the concho. Send for the concho of the lion camp outside the town.
For the Taisa,
That's the commander, right?
their captain or their commander would be a Taisa. Yeah.
Concho is actually captain in Japanese. So.
It's a little bit different rank structure.
Yeah. Well.
So yeah, you ask for the Taisa, and Otama Daisetsu says, "I will send my fastest messenger." And he goes out to the gates, and you hear him issue the order, and you know it's probably going to take a couple hours before this guy gets here. So it would be best to settle yourselves. Another way that you can get Void back actually is a tea ceremony, which as part of her thank you to you guys, Ranmaru is actually going to do one, which will also kind of help ease tensions here.
God damn it! I have to leave. I will politely bow and say that in the meanwhile I have an item that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
What are we waiting on again?
The new person to come in and sign the document.
Pretty much. Hopefully not
If
be
it
as
happens.
butthurt as the last one.
Okay, let's see, what is that result? Okay, perfect. She will serve tea. You guys have all had it before. You're going to recognize that she's serving Jade Pearl tea to everyone. She has not made a mention of what tea she's serving. She's simply serving it and doing a good job for doing it. Since Komori has been a little entranced by this woman, you take in like subtle movements and things like that. She seems to be quite the tea ceremony person. I know that there's a name for that. I'm forgetting it, but
I don't know the name either.
I was gonna say hostess is really the closest thing I can think of at the moment. She seems to be quite a skilled hostess. She's very uniform and fluid at the same time about like her pouring techniques and things like that. Which is kind of a trait from the Bat Clan. It's like the way that you put on tea ceremonies. It's a little bit more of almost a dance when you see it.
I will,
You're also going to see that Avu, her little bat, has emerged from her sleeve and sat down at the table and is licking away at a cup that she had set out for Avu.
The Lion Champion still hasn't left, right?
Oh no, she is sitting and waiting for your decrees because technically this isn't done.
Is there
Question.
Oh.
What if we just don't? Like, what if we don't tell her to leave? What will she do?
She is honor bound to follow you until you give her permission to carry out her exile. You know that technically that would be a thing for her. It would be a dishonor for her to have to burden that, or a burden for her. It would be a burden causing her dishonor if you just kept her around like that.
is there a
Like she would do
precedent?
nothing to help you, but she would do nothing to hurt you, or hurt or help you. She would just follow you around forever.
Is there a precedent for if a champion's charge just proves to be totally without honor? Does
It's
that
her fault for
reflect-
accepting to be
does it-
champion for that person.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
In fact, if you were to try and take away the exile punishment,
It would be worse.
it would socially look worse.
Well, in any case, I guess someone has to do this. I'll approach her. I'll just like look down at her for a moment and say, "You deserve better. I'm sorry, I cannot give it to you. You may go now."
She stands up wordlessly, and she says, "If you'll excuse me, I too must leave for the colonies." And she bows very politely to all of you, and she waits for you to excuse her, like officially.
Whatever the official way to do it is like, you are excused.
She will also set down a letter on the table before she leaves, and she looks to Taisa Odama and says, "If you could please have this returned to my commander. It will inform him of the situation." Or to my Taisa, because she's expecting that he will be arriving shortly. Otomo nods and takes the paper and just puts it in front of himself. She will exit the gate unhindered, since you guys didn't do anything to stop her and let her carry out her honor. And it's one of those moments that like Mirumoto Kaji kind of voiced it, but you all feel this moment of like it was bad circumstance for her. Like, yes, she accepted to be the champion, but she was not in the same league as that guy as far as like honor and things like that is concerned.
Whenever you get back to me, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you slipping off to do?
I'm gonna go get the Kuni to watch the hole, or the crab to watch the hole, so nobody stumbles in there.
Oh, you're gonna send your miniature crab army out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
With
You
their
find
siege
them-
tank.
Yeah, you find them. They are priming their arquebus, because that's pretty much what it is. It's a single-shot wheeled cannon, which, by the way, is crazy expensive. If you haven't seen that in the book.
It's crab. They do what they need to do.
Quick
You don't ask
question.
questions. You just accept that they have the weapon.
But quick question. I thought gunpowder weapons were like super illegal in Rokugan.
They are not illegal. They are extremely rare, and usually the mantis only have them. However, during this time period, the crane also, or not the crane, the crab also have a few that they keep for the wall for very rare circumstances.
So you're saying this one random crab dude just happens to have one?
Well, he's.
Don't
Boss.
ask fucking questions, man.
I was gonna say, you guys found out he is a smuggler, so he's
Yeah.
probably smuggling that weapon that normally would be confiscated by the Imperial Army from him if he was not in Crablands. But so far, no one has thought, you know what, I'm gonna try and take that cannon from those 4 crab guys. Which, to be fair, I wouldn't do it either. Okay, so yeah, they head out. Before they head out, the merchant will turn to you and he says, "Do you require anything else of us before we leave?"
I'm just gonna be like, nope. We got real. Or I will inform them of zombies as well, so they're aware. Like, I will give them not the level of infestation, but a portion of it, and be like, you probably need to make sure that everything is okay there.
Yeah, absolutely. So Yasuki turns to his family and he says, "Steel yourselves. We go to fight those creatures of the dark." And he immediately just marches down the street again, and
With
with
the fucking
traditional Yasuki fashion. And his children have the arquebus on like chains, and they're dragging it behind him, trying to emulate his path in life. But yeah, he's wielding like the biggest goddamn Tetsubo ever over his shoulder, one-handed, and just like proudly walking through the city.
all is right with the world.
I mean, it's just a father with his children out on a stroll.
Exactly. All is right within the world.
Actually, you would have seen his wife this time because she was not there at first. She is actually a quite robust woman. She looks like she is like pro bodybuilder, and she uses a Arumi. So she's an archer. Yeah, but yes, they head through the city to get out, and it kind of leaves you guys there. by the way, those that stuck around for the tea ceremony, which Kikita, if you were to turn back, you could come back to the tea ceremony because those guys are at the castle with you. Are going to get 2 void back, by the way.
I will
Kikita,
not.
what are you going to be doing?
I will not interrupt the tea ceremony because I feel like, as a crane, as that is something that is created by Lady Doji herself, I feel like coming into the middle of it would disrupt the ceremony for the person performing it, and I would not want to dishonor that.
It absolutely would. However, you know that it is considered respectful to simply, like, when you enter the room, quietly enter the room and wait for the ceremony to be completed and then take a seat. Ranmaru will have noticed you, and she will pour you a cup as well. So you're going to be able to get your void back as well, or the 2 points of void back as well.
Okay.
And then she will seat once she has poured her own cup, and she will tell you all a story of a curious bat. And the story, when you listen to it, you get that it's an allegory to a person who was far too curious for their own well-being, and to understand the value in reserved actions. Since all this stuff has been going down lately, she could be talking about the former Lord Governor Otomo, or she could even be talking about herself. But it serves as a reminder that sometimes, letting your flaws and curiosities get the best of you can be a bad thing. After about 30 minutes, you guys will hear screaming from the city, and the guards will look around, and you hear the guards starting to shut the castle gates. Kikita, you have been almost expecting this. So what is your response? Because you're basically going to hear the kind of screams, stop sipping your tea, and then you'll get to respond first.
I look at the tea. I look up. I look at the tea. I continue with the ceremony.
Okay. You choose not to address it. The ceremony portion is over when the screams happen.
Yeah, I choose not to address it.
Okay. One of the guards comes forward and he bows to the interim governor, and he says, Taisa Otomo, the Lion have laid siege to the city. They are at our gates. The Taisa kind of looks around the table and he says, unfortunately, it looks as though these negotiations will not be completed today. If you'll excuse me, I must bring around the Imperial Army. This must be stopped before the citizens are affected.
Indeed.
I find it strange that the Lion would go against an Imperial order.
It is not for me to decide their judgment. I am not a Shikin in this matter. You may discuss it while I am gone, but I have a duty to the Emperor, and he'll just walk away from the table, not
Are
even
we expecting the runner to return?
I expect the runner is dead.
Well then, I will go say hello to the captain myself.
Okay. Yeah, so what are you guys going to do then? Because the Taisa is actually going to be leaving.
Greet the army, I suppose.
Honestly, is that, or we let the army, we made our decision of no war. We should probably stick to that.
We should probably inform the Lion.
Yeah,
Yes.
they might want to be aware that they're not supposed to be, fighting.
And
So-
if they were to kill us, that would be
Not good.
That
Totally
would
without
be the
honor.
equivalent of attacking the Emperor
the Emperor.
at this
I
point.
know. No, it would be most wise for us to put ourselves between them and the city.
Okay.
Actually, they could see me as a general combatant.
They
Totally
can't.
different story.
You would be a little bit of an exception.
Well, true. So,
I, at the very least, put myself there.
Maybe all of us save for yourself.
Oh no, I am a Sheikah in this matter. No matter the dangers of the duty, I must see it through.
I mean, to be fair, you're all wearing your appropriate Sheikah garments because this is an actual meeting, so you have like your little square hats on and everything.
We
We look like Confucius. Got it.
Yep, you got those little square hats with the tassels on them.
You're right. We're graduating.
That's a thing.
Wonderful.
So yeah, you'll be recognized as Sheikah, but there is the off chance that some edgy guy with an arrow with a bow might shoot you.
Won't be the first time today.
You hear cannon fire, by the way, because
Well,
that
that is
stuff rings through the city pretty clear.
Perhaps we should make post haste.
Yep.
The Lion do not have cannons.
Regardless, things are escalating unfortunately fast.
But you do know someone who does.
I'm literally going to say my plan to join the Crab and the Crane against the Lion may have come to fruition.
You might want to not tell the Lion this.
And if you would please hold off on this plan until we are absolutely sure there is not a single sane person amongst the Lion. Granted, from what I've seen today, that may actually be possible.
Well, my goal is to ensure peace, but to my duty to my family is to assure any allies we can against the Lion should they decide to not heed an imperial order. Attacking a Crane family or a Crab family out and about would be a dishonor that the Crab surely would not allow to happen. And dishonoring them even more by attacking a Crab student, a Kuni student, in the process of his duties as a Sheikah would be something that even the mighty Crab on the wall could not dismiss. In fact, it may be 1,000 goblin or summer this year.
1,000 goblin summer?
Am I saying that correctly, Chris?
I believe that's what it's called. Yes.
Okay. Yes, it's a Crab tradition. When war, or a particularly bad year, claims too many warriors on the wall, any Ronin that decide that they would like to join the Crab and go to the wall to prove themselves may join the Crab.
Interesting.
Yes.
By the way, we
Crab go to
are
war usually 1,000 or 100 goblin summer, or winter, whatever one it is, usually follows very quickly to bolster their numbers. That is why the Crab never lose wars.
Please forgive me if I'm not anxious for your plans to come to fruition while my home is under siege.
regardless, we are just moving straight towards the city walls.
Sorry, it is 20 goblin winter.
20 goblin winter.
Which during the 5 months of winter, any Ronin who ventures into the Shadowlands and returns with the heads of 20 goblins will be granted fealty in a vassal family, no questions asked, and they are immediately recruited to the Lion, given full sanction, and to the Crab, and given full rights as Crab citizens.
Yep. Which usually happens in the year of a war, or particularly bad. A battle.
Alright, so we're just heading straight to the wall.
Okay, so where would you guys like to go? You said the wall?
Yes, but like wherever the lion is laying siege.
Well,
Okay, that is that is the western wall where they are laying siege. That is also the direction you heard the cannon fire come from.
The Crab are defending the wall.
Yes, they are. So you guys are doing the walkthrough of the city, and you can see that buildings are being boarded up, but you also hear a commotion coming from the city.
And that would be part 2 of my plan, the Iron Fans. No, I'm kidding. That wasn't me, actually.
Actually, surprisingly enough, this is not the Iron Fans. You will see who's behind this one.
Ninjas.
It is not a ton of ninjas. It is, however, a bunch of crane that are attempting to secure buildings.
To be fair, ninjas would go unseen. So how do we know it's not actually ninjas?
That's true.
No, they
Uh,
go unseen to you fools. I see them.
That
these
is
are better. These are good ninjas.
There are crane that are that appear to be securing the city. They don't seem to be like attacking citizens or doing anything crazy like that. They're telling citizens to go in their homes, board up windows, and they're putting guards around the city.
I look
There
at C and
are
I say,
a surprising amount of crane within the city walls. Now that you guys are looking around,
They were
I
just
look at
all
Steve.
here for vacation.
I look at C and say, I told you. The etiquette of battle is not so honorable as people like to believe it is. At least the crap get that correct.
the crane all have their sleeves tied up like they are ready to go, kind of deal, on their kimonos. Most of them have blades drawn, or they're carrying around staves to kind of like push the people into buildings and stuff like that. So they're basically doing like the Shinsengumi kind of move, where they're like, go to your homes, nothing to see here, kind of deal. You will see that there are members of the Iron Fan, since Kikita knows that they're out and about. They seem to be on rooftops and things like that, and they haven't done anything yet because the crane haven't started being crazy and hurting citizens.
In response to Toshiro, it never is, and he does not look amused.
You should not think of it in such base terms. The entirety of strategy is merely deception. There is what you show and what you do not show. And from what I can see, the Kakita are very good at not showing.
So you guys
Is that
passed
a commentary on me or my family?
It's like, he will stay silent, but like he gives you this look, and he's just like, yes.
Toshiro will smile and bow a little bit and be like, thank you.
Funnily enough, Miyamoto's actually quoting Nitan at you.
So you guys have to pass the Jade Pearl in because it's in the center of city, and pretty much
Hold on,
cast
real quick,
some
Chris.
thumbs
I have
out of it.
something to say as we're moving.
Okay.
I will say, remember, the war against the enemy you can see is easy. The war against the enemy you cannot, that's the one you lose every time.
Yeah, don't I know it?
Your wound stings, Mori.
That is why you must know your opponent better than he knows himself, for then he cannot act without you interceding.
The more they talk, the more this wound seems to sting. It's like
I
hard
will,
lessons learned, bro.
This may be why they're great clan members and you are not. Your clan hasn't figured this shit out yet.
So yeah, you start heading through the city.
That hurts right here, bro.
You start heading through the city, and you will pass the Jade Pearl Inn, regardless of what you do. It's just kind of on the way. And you will see that there are crane banners flying in front of the Jade Pearl Inn. Like, normally the Jade Pearl Inn has banners in front of it, but they are kind of a jade color, and they have, like, flowers and pearls and things like that on it. Like, this looks like it's been turned into temporary Kakita Fortress 1, basically. The walls have been, or the windows have been boarded up. There are guards stationed in front of it. There are Kakita crane banners in general flying out in front of it, and you can see pikemen around the building itself too.
I wonder where all the scorpions are going to go.
They can just wear the right colors and act like they are and act the same.
So, a little history for you. Scorpion will typically leave a city if it's a fight that they don't necessarily care or have anything to gain from, because why be in a city that's at war if you don't have to be? So chances are they left like cockroaches.
I kind of like that way of thinking. It's hilarious.
Well, they have nothing to gain, so meh. So yeah, you head through the city, and you can see that the crane are securing buildings, and that's kind of the big takeaway from that. When you get to the gate, the Lion have a battering ram against the gate, and this gate is not really like this is the siege gate, so it is designed to be able to hold up against the battering ram, but it's definitely like the guards that are here haven't experienced war before, So you can tell that they're unnerved by the fact that they're being sieged. Like these are young men on the walls.
I will. I'll look to one of the guards. Is there another way to slip out? I mean, I could come around behind them, but that would be too costly.
Is it just a way to get to the top of the wall and shout down at them?
There is another gate that you can take. It's in the Lion Quarter, but the Lion Quarter has been secured by the Lion citizens. They won't let anybody past. We have allowed them to secure their district, but they haven't seemed to have been hostile unless you try to approach their district.
When we all said we were all going to go out there, Sheikah, we neglected to ask, did, I forget his name, the Lion Sheikah accompany us?
Matsu, yes, he did.
Can you aid us in this matter, Matsu-san?
Of course, and he kind of passes his hand towards the direction that the Lion District is, and he says, I know a shortcut.
Lead on.
Okay. As you guys are walking away, you'll hear the gates start to kind of splinter a little, and people are trying to put up like a barricade behind the gate to reinforce it. You know that there's probably not that much time left before they actually bust through that gate.
Lead on faster.
Okay. When you tell him that, he kind of starts jogging. He's definitely an older gentleman. He hasn't been like active for a while since giving his cushy Sheikah job. So he's a little winded by the time you guys get to the district, and he tries to explain it to the guards, and he says, "So we must get past. We are here as Sheikah, and we have a duty to maintain." After a little bit of conversation between the two of them and him basically pulling rank on the citizens, they finally agree to let him pass. Well, I shouldn't say citizens. They're effectively Lion Bushi that are guarding the place. They effectively let him go past, and they tell him, "We will guide you to our gate, but you will not interact with our citizens." And that's mainly for the Kakita that they're doing that.
I don't say anything.
Mm-hmm. I need a awareness test
From
everybody.
Can it be an investigation test?
No, you won't have time for investigation.
Damn.
36.
Okay.
That's
8.
Okay. Kakita will notice nothing.
13.
Okay. C will notice nothing.
35 for me.
Perfect. So Komori and Miramoto will notice there are more citizens here than there should be. And these citizens seem to be young and in shape. That's not weird.
Almost like they may have infiltrated already.
Why would that be weird?
Well, it's normally a Kakita thing.
They're all young and buff, you know?
Like they may be part of a standing army or anything. You know, no big deal. They'll guide you out the Lion Gate. It's actually a very small gate guarded by a couple Lion Bushi, and they close the door behind you, and they're like, we don't want the war to come to our district. If you require to come back in the city, please show some sort of proof that this is stopped. Either stop the forces or try another gate. And Matsu nods and he says, "I understand," and he'll leave.
All right.
I follow.
Okay.
Lead on.
So once you guys get out the gate, it's a pretty easy shoot across over to the camp where the Lion are set up to basically flood in the city once they break through the gate. How would you like to approach it?
A way to at least likely get me shot.
Okay.
In a line showing that we were all Sheikah, in the line across, I suppose.
Okay.
There's some solidarity.
Yeah, you guys could walk up. Like I don't need to necessarily know like if you're traveling in a straight line or if it's like a V formation or anything crazy like that. I'm just more curious about like how you approach it. Do you walk up? Do you run up? That sort of thing.
I think we should walk up, showing every intention. We like, not trying to not acting like we're trying to hide intentions from anybody.
Okay.
Nothing
So
to
you
make
guys-
them curious.
You guys start to walk up, and you're going to see an archer squad get turned and pointed your direction. They haven't shot yet, but they're at full draw waiting, and then there's a line behind them that is also waiting to release arrows. And the captain's got his arm up like he's waiting for something.
I keep walking.
So
Matsu breaks out a fan. He's got one of the actual signal fans, and he picks it up and he starts like flipping it around and doing a couple things and waving it. It looks a little crazy, but the bows go down.
All right.
Signaled.
Let's have him take point. He seems to know what he's doing.
It is right about then that you hear the crack of the gate opening, and lion soldiers just immediately stop paying attention to you and pour into the city. You will also smell more smoke. That should be known. Usually a Taisa will stand at an advantageous point and direct his military through signals. You're looking around, it's kind of a lowland plains area, but if you were to venture a guess as to where he would be, you would do that using a battle check.
I can do that.
Yes, someone actually has battle.
You just a reminder for everybody, if you do decide you want to do raises, they are called before you roll.
I know.
Yes.
I'll take one raise on this battle
Okay.
check. 25.
Okay. Yeah, that's more than enough. Normally, a good place to be would be on a hill or a mountain. There's not really much of like a mountain here, but there is a hill, and as you kind of scan, you see this like structure erected on top of the hill that kind of looks like a watchtower, and you're able to see a guy making signals up there with a couple fans, and you're like, okay, that's definitely where he's got to be.
So, let's hurry.
Yes. Post haste. Keep saying that word.
So yeah, you guys run across the fields, and you can hear fires and screaming and fighting coming from the city. You also hear the roar of lions, like not people, but animal lions.
Interesting. Are the lions known for using actual lions in combat?
Yes.
Interesting.
They have an entire special school that's designed around owning a couple lions and using them in combat.
Because fuck you, I'm a lion, I use lions. You should have chosen a wimpy ass animal.
Well, I can't get dragons. They're hard to find.
Yeah, if you could, they'd be real powerful too.
Well, okay, there was that one, but we don't talk about him.
Yeah, seeing as they are, practically god spirits.
Yep.
Never mind the fact he kind of technically ruled our entire clan for thousands of years, but again, we don't talk about that.
So yeah, you guys head across to this watchtower, and the Taisa is up there. He has a spyglass, quite expensive, very fancy, and he's got a signalman. Once you are kind of climbing up the ladder to get to where he is, unless you guys decide you want to blow up the ladder or something crazy.
No, I'm just gonna climb it.
Okay.
We're trying to talk peacefully.
You are able to look across the city. You see a bunch of fighting, buildings on fire, lions eating people, and something more unsettling. Kakita, due to schooling and training, will recognize it. There are zombies in that city.
Okay, dealing with one thing at a time. Like, once we get up there, I will say, Taisa, we're here to stop this mindless bloodshed in the name of the Emperor.
He doesn't look at you at first, and he says, "Who are you to command me? I am the I am the commander of this legion, and he puts down the spyglass and looks at you, and then he all of a sudden catches himself, and he says, "Forgive my insolence. I should have paid attention before speaking." And he bows and he says, "On what grounds do we stop this? Was an accord reached?"
Yes, an accord was, save for the fact that your governor was a petulant child.
The governor sent
foresaw-
his message. Sent his messenger. He told us that the negotiations have fallen through. Is that incorrect?
He forsook his honor and misrepresented us. We have ruled that there shall be no war.
When we presented these terms to him, he said that he was no longer in a position to judge this because he had been exiled. He went into these negotiations knowing this, but refused to tell anyone until the last minute to contrive the situation.
Forgive me. I am lost in your story. I do not mean to be rude. He turns and he yells at the signalman, who starts flipping around new signs and stuff like that. He's ordering a cease, desist, and retreat kind of combination there.
I look at the Tulsa and I say, "No, you need to attack the zombies," and I'll start pointing them out.
The what?
He kind of sits there and thinks, and the signalman goes, "I don't know how to tell him that. There's not really a signal for zombie."
Hold on. Excuse me. Back up. Okay. I'll look at him and be like, your men won't follow a Kakita, but we need to stop this Maho infestation before it grows even further. I've called for Cooney witch hunters. For now, the war is on hold until this is dealt with. I believe all parties can agree to this. And I look at everybody.
He kind of, he's almost lost because you threw out the Z word there. He kind of shakes his head. He's like, "What? Why are they even here? What purpose does this serve?"
Purpose of
You can see that his brain is going through military reasons that you would consider using zombies. Basically, is what he's trying to figure out, and he just can't fathom why anybody would try to do that sort of thing.
I'll point straight to the zombies and be like, "Right there. There is a large Maho infestation."
It's coming from the castle, by the way.
Yes.
God damn it.
Some would say maybe destroying that circle was a good idea.
Some would say that. Those some
Well,
would be wrong.
To be fair, nobody expected zombies to be able to use a magic teleportation circle.
They did not.
Well, now we know better.
And
So-
now I get to take another rank in Lore Maho or Lore Shadowlands so I can know this fact in the future.
And we also take another. Yeah.
Lessons learned if we live. Yes.
That's how I'm
So-
looking at this. I mean, I
Yeah,
assume that's-
absolutely. Yeah, that's totally fine. I mean, you are all fairly new. You're all rank 1. You haven't really done adventures before now.
Yeah, and this is something that most people don't get to live through.
Yeah, this is like an over the top. This shouldn't happen. There's Mahu infestation and zombies in the heart of Rukagon. This is ridiculous. It's well beyond you. So the fact that Kakita's been behaving the way he has, oh, I need to call for help. I can't handle this. That's totally acceptable. Yeah, so you look across the city, and the Crane don't seem to be on board. The Lion have tried to stop fighting, but the Crane are still pushing their assault against the Lion, and it doesn't appear that most people are aware of the zombies other than the people that are really close to the castle at this point, because you've got a really good advantage point where you're at right now.
Lord.
Did Ronru accompany us?
She did not.
Okay.
She was not a Sheikah.
Because she has spells back, apparently, and she has long-distance communication.
Yep.
That would have been useful.
I will shout out and say, listen, we don't have time here to sit here and gawk. We have no more than 10 Maru before this gets completely out of hand. We must hurry.
He says the general says, of course. I'll rally my men to the gate. That will stop them from doing anything further. He pulls out a small bottle rocket essentially and launches it and lights it.
Telsa, if you don't mind, I think I'm probably the most knowledgeable person here. Do you mind if I look at him and I say, I know it would be unprecedented for the Kakita and the lion, or the crane and the lion to work together in such a fashion. And your men are not likely to take an order from me, but maybe you'll see the lighter side. I know how to, I have ideas on how to contain this thing, as I've spent much of my life at the wall.
Any assistance that you can provide would be a great honor to my army. So, I will ensure that they respect your education.
All right. So I want to roll lower Shadowlands.
He is going to hand you a rope, and after you take the rope, he's like, okay, and jumps off the thing and slides down the rope. He's not taking the ladder down; it's too slow, kind of deal.
He just made you the master of the whip, dude. You now control the Unsullied.
Is this a symbolic gesture of I'm in command of the army?
No, he's rallying the men to the. He's giving you a faster way off this podium so that you can help him get his men straightened up and on the right track.
He's saying, go down the rope, don't go down the ladder. It's faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple ropes up here, actually, to be fair.
'61 Lower Shadowlands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Lower Shadowlands, the best thing that you can think is because there's just so many of them, and the way Toshi Rambo's set, there's actually a wall around the castle, and they're kind of coming out of the castle right now. They haven't actually breached the wall. It almost would be better to seal the castle off and contain them there.
Okay, I will yell up to the...
But you're going to have to be quick. Like, you won't be able to deal with the crane problem if you do that. Like, you're going to have to beeline to the castle.
Yeah. I will yell up to the Seven Forged people up top, and I will say, tell the men to surround the castle and to contain it there. For every one we let out, 10 more will spring up from that hole. They must go no further.
Okay. Miramoto.
Your lions are not allowed to bite them.
You.
Are you assisting in this matter, or you have something else in mind that you'd like to do?
I mean, if he's dealing with the zombies, I would like to deal with the crane. Because every person lost at that fight is a person that can't fight the zombies.
Sounds valid to me.
Zombie.
Yes.
Yeah, or stands a chance to possibly become a zombie too.
Right.
Gamori.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna flavor this a little different. Like, unless he's hiding from you, you almost always can feel that tingling sensation that your karmatic twin is near. He's not hiding. You can feel his presence, and you can't quite put your finger on it. And you just scan through the city, and you see in the courtyard there's a Dark Rider with all the zombies. He hasn't left the courtyard. He just seems to be sitting there, and you can almost feel it in your heart that he's staring back at you.
Boss fight.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get myself killed.
You can see he has something on the back of his horse, by the way.
I hate you, Chris.
Yep. It's like a frozen moment in time between the two of you, as it dawns on you that he's taken her again.
I don't like the fact that you're pretty much turning me into like the fantasy knight who needs to keep on saving the princess.
No, not Fantasy Knight. Mario.
Yeah,
Worse.
yeah.
Arguably
No,
worse.
fuck
He is not. He is
I'm
not
late.
your Bowser.
No, fuck it. No. He's my Ganondorf.
Yeah, so just about to say that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he's kind of staring across at you. This is one of those moments where failure could mean her death, and you know it.
I'm gonna. Cause let's see. Kakita already left to go help with that. Kaji's already going.
No, actually, I'm still on the line.
Oh, perfect. Then I will say something out loud. I think I know where the source of the infestation, who the source of the infestation is.
Okay.
He's back.
From outer space.
He's at the courtyard. And I'm gonna go. That's all I say. And I run.
Chris,
Yep.
do I know, with all the finance going on, do I possibly know a way through the city to help him get there without incident as quickly as possible?
Yeah, you could go with him and help him with shortcuts and stuff like that.
Honestly, if he
by the
wasn't
way,
help me,
Komori-
I was gonna climb the houses and just try to do my best impression of a ninja.
Yeah, that's honestly going to be the fastest way, and it's going to dawn on you that going across the rooftops like the Iron Fans are doing is
Yeah.
probably the easiest way to traverse the city.
That's how I was going to do this.
Komori, in a true Batman sense of it, like you don't climb down the ladder or use the rope. You do this like skydive move and then like hit the ground running.
Hey, to be fair, don't have my obi on. It's flowing up.
It opens up. That little Batman animation cartoon sound plays.
I just thought of that.
Before we go down after him, I'll turn to Toshiro. Kakita-san, you met with the Iron Fans. Is there anything I might say to them to rally them?
I hate to say this, but I don't. That's what he says, and he'll put his hand on your shoulder and he'll say, "Die well, my friend."
Okay.
We stop them here, or all of Rukagon is gone.
That's what I say to them.
No, that's what I'm saying to you.
Okay. I would say best of luck, but may your training come through.
Agreed.
And he will go after Komori.
As you turn around, something's going to fall off your shoulder.
Okay. I'll look to see what it was.
It's whatever the token was that Chris gave me for the Iron Fans.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
it's the cross guard.
I'll pick it up. And I'll just give you a look with it. It's like I'll understand what it is, and I'll chase after Komori.
Okay. Komori, since you've decided to parkour this thing, I will need an athletics test.
It's a good thing I took athletics.
And we're going to do this kind of like an extended test, so there'll be a couple of them in a row, and depending on how good you do, depends on how much progress you make.
All right.
Back in a second.
Dice on this. Fucking 28. My first roll.
Okay. So with a 28, you're able to get yourself situated and start moving across the city, and you're going at it in a safe manner. Like you could push yourself and do raises, however, because you didn't do any raises, like you're doing it fast but cautious.
I haven't done a raise because he's he's still. This is his really his first time doing this. He's not trying.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to fail at it now because that fail might mean death. But yeah, you're right. I'm doing fast but cautious.
Okay. See, if you would like to follow him via rooftops, you will also need an athletics check.
Okay. Athletics. Okay.
Do you have athletics?
Yep. I bought it because I actually get plus strength from being, let's see, what they do, because hammers and forges.
Oh my.
Ravens.
17.
Perfect. 1 second, though. Jonathan Brown, I do see your question here, and it will be answered as we go through.
I didn't know we have a question.
The short answer to it, without revealing anything that comes along in the story, is things are happening that are a little beyond their control and skill at this moment. They've been wrapped up in something bigger than them.
Do you
Isn't
know
that,
who Jonathan
pretty-
Brown is in the community or no?
What's that?
Do you know who Jonathan Brown is in the community or no?
I believe it's one of the members from the OSG, the One Shot Group, but I could be wrong. The name sounds familiar.
Well, hopefully you enjoy watching us fail at everything we try.
I will
You've
continue
been doing
to try
okay.
my best to die. And apparently, that is always my goal in every game I play.
All right, perfect. So yeah, you guys start traveling through the city without problem for both of you, and see you're able to keep up with Komori as well. And then the two of you, Kikita and Miramoto, are actually going with the lion to get them straightened out and actually on target. Or I'm sorry, Miramoto's going to the crane first.
Mhm.
Let's start with Kikita, actually. You arrive at the Taisa, the lion, and he's got his men back in formation. There still seems to be lion bushi in the city that are not part of his command, or possibly not responding to the signal, along with lions that are tearing apart villagers and stuff like that.
Okay. I will, I will tell them exactly what I told, the Centerforge guy is, if I'm even saying that word correctly, Centerforge, whatever it is.
So to save you a little bit of honor here, because you're about to tell 1,000 men that there are zombies and you know shit about Maho, if you wanted to, you could phrase it as, "We have to secure the castle. Nothing can leave the castle," and leave it at that.
What I'm going to say is, there is an enemy in the castle that is insidious and carries with it the hate and evil of the Daigotsu, right? Is that the...
Yes. The Daigotsu has left the world. You know that, though.
Yes, but giving that name gives people the air of, okay, this is serious,
Mm-hmm.
I get what's going on. So I will say the hate and evil with it of the Daigotsu. It must be held within the castle. Even if one gets out, 10 more will rise from that hole, and 10 more from each of those, until none of Rukagon is left. We are the defenders of this world, and we must act like it now. That is my rousing speech,
Okay.
because I'm not one for words.
If you have battle and would like to roll it, you may do so.
I do not.
Okay.
But I will roll battle nonetheless.
Okay. You stand a chance to buff them, essentially.
Yeah, I know. I just have to look up the class or the skill and see what I roll for it. Perception. Perception is a 3. Let's see.
Sorry, I'm updating my flow chart of battle here, because you guys have taken care of some things.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
For one, splitting the party might be a good thing.
26.
It's never really a terrible idea in Rukagon, actually. 26? Yeah, that is enough. You're going to see them bolstered, and you'll lead them through the city. And they're just going to like try and beeline for the castle. They're going to push people out of the way. They're not actually going to like attack like they were doing before. Miramoto, where are you heading to try and stop the crane from their own assault?
I mean, when I was on top of the hill, where was like the crane front?
It looks like everything was being directed from the Jade Pearl Inn, which is one of the taller buildings in the city, so it does make sense that probably their leader is up there directing things.
All right, Jade Pearl Inn it is.
It's not like you don't know that place pretty well.
Shut up. It's not like that. Well, I'm running. I'm like, I wish I had a bigger hat to signify what I'm doing.
Okay, so you run across town. If you would like to get there faster, you could do an athletics and take some raises to kind of shorten the time to get there. But if not, I still need an athletics just to get this extended test done.
I will totally make an athletics test with a raise.
Okay, perfect.
$20.
With a 20, that is good enough. That does your raise as well. So you're going to actually get a little bit more progress out of this run across the city.
Okay.
So you are not going to make it this round, but overall you've made better progress than just a normal run. It's going to come back over to Komori. If you would like to continue running across roofs, again, I need the athletics check, and if you choose to do raises, it will speed up this process.
I'm going to try with one raise.
Okay.
And there goes my die. That sucks. I really should have tried for at least 2 raises. That is 39.
Okay, your raise will go through. You're going to see that Komori kind of picks up the pace. If you would like to keep pace with him, you're going to need to do at least one raise yourself, or you can try and run past him if you want to.
Yep, I will try to keep pace with him. And do I see any Iron Fans while I'm up here?
There are some, but they seem to be doing a lot of like dropping down and taking out opponents one-on-one or shooting arrows at people that are attacking citizens. They don't seem to really care about you guys in particular because they've got enough stuff to worry about.
Are there any in our line of path, maybe?
Yeah, there's an archer that's going to be pretty much right in front of you that you guys are going to have to deal with.
I'll make my check, and I'll also try to flag him down. First, with a raise.
If you want to get his attention and run to keep up, like shouting at him and kind of waving the symbol and be like, stop, 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 you could do so, but it's going to require 2 raises.
How far are we from him?
You are about 20 feet if you make that first raise to keep pace with Komori.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make 2 raises.
Okay.
And hope it doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. $34.
Okay, perfect. So you are running and you're like, stop, stop, and you're kind of waving the thing at him. He looks over and he kind of lowers his bow. He looks a little curious, but he starts yelling at some of the other Iron Fans to hold their fire and stuff like that.
Okay, once I reach him, I will present him with the... You said it was a crossguard?
If you want to reach him, it will be next turn because you're 20 feet away from him when you end your turn. Right. However, if you do stop in front of him, that means that Komori's going to run off, and you won't be able to keep pace with him at the same time, so keep that in mind. You've effectively accomplished what you were looking for, getting them to stop while running past them, is what you did this turn.
Okay.
Okay, and let me mark that off, because that was settled too. Okay. From there, Kakita, Your troops are making time through the city, but because they're in such a larger group, it's taking more time than you feel comfortable with. Another battle check could push them forward to get to their target as well. Essentially, you all have skill challenges to get to where you're going.
Yep, I will continue. Move forward. The enemy doesn't slow down, and neither can you.
Okay, and the captain is actually going to echo that and give you some bonuses.
25.
Okay. With that, you see the men pick up, and they just go full tilt charge because the bonuses that the captain gave you and everything too. He gave you 2 free raises.
Cool.
And they pick up pace, and you figure that you should make it to the gates next round, and you can see that there are already zombies that are outside of the gate, but the vast bulk of them are still inside the gates. If you were to move fast enough and quick enough, you could probably close it off, but there's going to be some inside the city you have to deal with regardless.
Okay. I'll Is there any way to reach the crane?
To reach the crane? Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. The dragon said he was going to go deal with that, right?
Yes. I was going to say you could break away, but keep in mind Miyamoto's doing that.
I will stay here and lead and direct any Shugenja that are here, maybe with Jade Strikes on key targets or whatnot at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go back over to Miyamoto. Miyamoto, you've made it to, or rather, you will make it to the Jade Pearl Inn with this turn because you were successful the first time. I will need 1 more athletics to make sure that you don't get yourself wrapped up in some sort of other situation.
Okay. Do I need any more raises on this one, or?
No, you won't need a raise for this. Like, just a regular athletics roll will take you the rest of the distance.
Hold on.
You got it. You got in the 50s.
Yeah. Total is 67.
Okay, yeah, you're definitely making it there without any real issues. There are pikemen that lower their pikes when they see you, and they're like, "Stand down, dragon. We have no qualms with you."
You're just like crowd dragon jumping
Like
in.
you've got your hat in your hand because you're trying not to lose it since that's a symbol of your status.
Obey the hat!
More wooden block music.
So
Stand
yeah,
down.
they tell you to stand down, dragon. We have no qualms with you.
And I was like, stand down your ceaseless attack on the line in the name of the Emperor! This war is over!
One of them lifts up his spear and immediately is just like, because you said the magic E word there. The other one keeps his spear down and he's like, hey, put your spear down. We'll call the captain. We don't know who this man is. And there's some shouting inside the house, and a crane wearing rather elegant full battle armor comes forward. He's got a bullhorn in one hand, and he's got like huge white feather like plumage around his neck, and a large cape. He steps forward, and he sees you, and he kind of looks you up and down. He says, "Yep, that's the one." And he shouts up to the roof, and you can see a signalman start flipping around stuff up there too.
Alright, so they're immediately stopping?
They're trying to stop the forces. Signals take a little while to travel through, so it will take a round or so before the crane really stopped their attack in full earnest.
Excellent.
It's kind of like how the lion took a little bit to kind of get corralled in again.
Unfortunately, this war was started by a false message by a rather, petulant man. However, we can deal with that later. We have other problems, namely that there's an enemy force inside of the castle. It is neither lion nor crane, something far more sinister, and we'll need everyone's help to stop it.
Then I have good news for you. Come with me. And he'll start walking back upstairs.
Okay.
He goes over to the signalman and he says, tell the Sume to continue their plan. Signalman starts doing stuff.
What is this plan?
The Sume we're going to secure the castle It was going to become our next station within the city's walls. The castle is much more fortified than Jade Pearl, and this was simply an information post for us.
Well, good. Though I imagine they're not going to encounter the kind of resistance they were expecting.
Well, we have been told of the guard strength, and I do not think that's a problem.
It is a problem, unfortunately. It is not the guards I speak of. Like, I really just need to say it. So it's like, I'll lean in close and whisper, there is a mass of zombies.
So you've heard this before. He looks at you and he says, "There's no signal for that."
I am well aware of this.
There is a signal for that if you are Crab, but there is not if you're anybody else.
Crab understand. The zombies.
The Crab signal kind of looks like this.
It's like, so I've heard that this is why we must make as much speed as possible. Send out runners, send out whoever you can, inform everyone that this is not the fucking force they're expecting to face.
He shouts down, and you hear gates like crash open, and out from the kitchen entrance come four riders on ponies that just start screaming through the city at full speed.
All right.
So let me modify my chart here again. This is going to happen, but this one is stopped. I've got a pretty cool flow chart that I'll talk about at the end of this game.
We've known for years how good flowcharts work for this group. Ever since the
blimp.
Ever since the blimp.
So yeah, the horsemen take off and they go through the city. You start to hear horns go off. Kakita, you're going to recognize them. The horns are not typically used except for in retreat with the Crane clan, unless they are like massive amounts of legions that are out there that just have to be signaled that way. So you're able to recognize the retreat call from your training as a young child. Well, it's not really retreat. It's more like the regroup call is essentially what they're getting.
Yep. I will say, hopefully, I'll call out to the men. Hopefully, the Crane will be here to reinforce us soon.
Okay. This will be your last check to make it to the gates, and this will also actually cover getting the gates blockaded up. Any raises that you do will further the process towards blockading the gates and locking in zombies.
I will raise 2 times.
You get 2 for free, by the way. So 4 raises in total.
If I get 2 for free, I can't raise beyond that.
Because these are assisted things from the other from the captain, it actually ignores that rule. He's essentially providing you help.
Okay. 28.
28, perfect. So yeah, the men start barricading things up, and there's a couple of them that go out and they just start trying to take down zombies and clear the path, and then there's another group that surges forward of Shugenja that actually are the faster units. So essentially, like, Bushi fan out, take care of the zombies. Shugenjas move forward, and they do like this swoop move, and then they land on the ground, and where their foot stops, like, Jade just shoots out of the ground, smashing into all the zombies on the other side of the gate. And then some engineers and Bushi kind of surge forward and start pulling the gates closed. And trying to reinforce it from the outside, which is not how these gates are designed.
Where are the crabs with the cannons?
The crabs with the cannon are out of the main wall, because they haven't gotten the memo to stop yet.
Ah, shit. Captain, send a runner to the men with the cannon, or to the man with the cannon.
Very well. Like he kind of thinks about it for a second, and he's like, "Yeah, that's actually a good call." And he says, "Very well," and he sends off.
Tell the runner to tell the man, Daira.
Very well.
And to follow him. I essentially said, what he'll hear is the words "big catch," essentially.
Mm-hmm.
What it means to a crab, on the other hand, is that.
Yeah, warning Shadowlands. A large Shadowlands force is approaching. Yeah, so you tell him to give word that Dyro, and the messenger doesn't understand because he's not a crab, and he's like, okay, and runs off. Then from there, we'll actually go back to Komori and C, who are approaching the castle as the gates are being shut. With a singular raise, you'll be able to get through the gates without. Or sorry, not a singular raise. Your target number is slightly higher to get through the gates without getting caught on the other side.
Oh, could I have stopped for a moment just to say a few words to the Iron Fan and keep up with?
No, you won't be able to keep up with Komori if you do
Well,
it.
he could if he, did a fuck ton of raises. Do you want to
Because
do?
having another force join them is really important.
There we go. Sorry. So,
it's important that because the Iron Fans have a large force apparently, and we need all the
not
help.
necessarily
we
large, more skilled. Like
We haven't
they're using guerrilla tactics in their hometown.
Okay. I said I was gonna do it, and it's we need all the help we can get. I will. Can I make another check to try to catch up to him?
Basically, if you want to stop and talk to him, I'm going to deliberate and see how many increase or how many raises you would need to be able to catch up.
Okay. And is Komori gonna wait for me to catch up at all if I call after him? We'll find
He's
that
gonna
out.
keep on running.
Well, Komori's going to run, so I do need to check. from
Because I
Komori
was
and
giving
how
you directions for the fastest way. But yeah, I will try to keep it succinct.
Okay.
Okay.
I need Komori's check first, since he's in the lead technically.
Yep. I will be adding in at least one raise.
Okay.
I know the TN is already higher anyways, but I'm adding in the raise. Nice. $37.
37, perfect. So, yeah, you go flying off of like a rooftop, do this tuck roll thing, and you just kind of like slip in between the lion as they're trying to shut this gate from the outside. With your raise, you're able to kind of like throw zombies off of you as you get up, but they're all over the place in the courtyard.
Yep. I get that. Hold on. Doesn't
And
that?
you are now in the courtyard, and you can see him clearly. It is quite clearly Kojima. And he does definitely have Ranmaru, but she's not on the horse like you thought she was at first. She's actually been tied to a stake in the middle of the courtyard.
That's better.
Because he's,
That's worse.
black and white movie, twisty mustache bad guy.
Hey man, you shut your mouth up. You're not on this side with me. You can't tell me what's worse and what's better.
Hey, I know what's worse. All right.
I'm going to I'm gonna yell out to him. Kojima, get down from that horse. Face me like a man.
I have accomplished everything I have set out for, Komori-san. You will not be able to stop me. My master has received the gifts that he sought from this place.
And here I thought you were better than that. Far be it from me to actually think good of my enemy.
I am doing what you have forced me to do, Komori. My fate is your responsibility. The actions that I perform on these people, the lives I take, it is your fault.
Sorry. Just like, because how cliche this is, it's just making me laugh.
Yeah, he's your Joker, man.
I know, it's just...
You're Batman for L5R. He's your Joker.
The actions that led you where you are now were your own. All I did was follow my own path. It was your fault to betray the empire as you. No, yeah, it was your fault to betray the empire.
Then we shall walk this path together. And he starts to turn his horse. And you notice that there have been some boards and things set up to where there's a ramp to get onto the wall. He's turning his horse to get to the wall. He's about to do something that you know is very stupid, which is jump that horse off the wall.
The zombies around, do they look like they're going to try to now head towards Ranmaru?
Yeah, now that he's turning around, you can see the zombies are getting close to Ranmaru because she's the closest living thing that they're allowed to attack.
I'm going to go to her instead.
That's what he was planning on. He will go up to the wall and he will jump off. You'll hear like a crashing sound. Kakita, you'll hear the crashing sound too.
People should be seeing this shit.
Kakita's just gonna be like, oh, what could possibly be any worse today?
The Lion are doing a pretty good job of securing the castle and getting everything squared away. It's dawned on you that you haven't seen any of the Jade Magistrates.
Yeah, no, I'm aware.
Mm-hmm.
Find that the Jade Magistrates have been evil all along.
One of them may have fallen.
One.
I'm going to.
You were sweet on one.
Now that one of them, now that the gates are together, I'm gonna look at the captain and say, "I need your most accomplished men. There are Jade Magistrates inside that we must protect."
Of course, he calls for 2 women that come forward, and they have 3 lions each.
I'm gonna look at the women. I will say, "Will you have problems taking orders from me?"
They kind of look a little quiet for a second, and then one of them steps forward and she says, "No, this is for the good of Rukagon. We can put our differences aside for now."
Very well. And then I will smile and I will say, "To battle!"
Okay. You yell to battle, and which direction are you going? Because the main gate is closed. There are other ways to get into the castle if you were to try one of like the side gates that's normally barred.
Yeah.
And then there's also that crash noise that happened from one of the sides of the castle.
I'm going right in, just whatever the quickest way is.
Okay. The quickest way would either be open up that door, that big gate to the castle.
The one you took so long to
that
try
has
to
a bunch
close.
of zombies that you're trying to close, or have just now closed, or you could try one of the side doors. The problem with the side doors, you'll have to break it down, which means it'll be open.
What is the easiest way in?
It's not really a good answer, or
Through the
not really a
wall.
good solution. If you could somehow get over the wall, that seems like the best solution.
I'm just going to ask then for scouts.
Okay. Actually, there is a way to get over the wall because I forgot about their gear. Both lions actually have grappling hooks and gear to go over walls.
And they have lions with them. Fuck that shit. Lions will climb.
Yeah, the lion, like when they start looking at the fact that you want to go over this wall, the lions will start prowling around looking for ways to get up there. And then one of the women will come back and she'll say, "There's a dead horse around the side of the castle, but there's enough stuff there that I think we can pile up stuff to get the lions over the wall with us."
Let us do it.
Okay, you head over there. There is a dead black horse that you recognize. Its legs are broken and it's been eaten by lions. That's what actually killed it.
Whose horse was it?
You've only seen one horse since coming to Toshi Rambo. and that one horse happened to be black too.
What horse was that, though?
The one that Kojima, the guy that speared Komori last scene, was riding. Well, lanced, I should say.
Well, it doesn't really matter. We need to get going.
Okay. So they pile up some boxes, and there's already like a neat pile of hay that looks like it was conveniently set there to try and break the horse's fall, but didn't work.
Okay.
They pile up stuff, and they get over the wall with you as well. Their lions are also making it up over the wall, so you'll still have all 6 lions.
Yep.
Now that you're on the wall, you will see Taisa Otomo Daisetsu is up on the rooftop, because it's multi-tiered roofs for this castle.
Yeah.
He's up on the first tier of rooftop, meteor hammering zombies that have chased him up the walls.
Lord Governor, we are here. Where are the Jade Magistrates?
He'll shout to you, and he says, those that are left are further up. They're on the second tier roof.
Where are
They're
they
trying
coming
to
from?
get to the third tier. The third tier has ropes to get back into the city.
Where are they coming from?
The former governor's office. They seem to be coming forward from there. I don't know what's doing it.
Okay. I'm going to look down at the lions, and I'm going to say, cut the ropes from the castle into the city.
They nod. So you've had training in Maho. You know that someone has to be operating that circle.
Yeah.
Like, it couldn't be abandoned. There's someone here.
Yeah. So I'm going to say to the lionesses, so to speak, I'm going to say, well, today we die well.
One of them like smiles, and you can see that she's filed her teeth into like fangs. This is the one that didn't talk before. She says, "The only ones that will die are those that stand against us." And she just like jumps off the wall into zombie, like, you know, mosh pit, and just starts attacking. And she's got the lion's claws weapons, and she's just like slashing and ripping into her enemies. She seems almost as feral as her lions.
Okay. I will jump down, and I will give the order. I will say, my spells have been used to fight these beasts already today. I have no more within me, except save the one to destroy or to stop this infestation. You must protect me as we head in. And I will draw my wakizashi, even though it's kind of a faux pas to use it in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. F that honor at this point. I need to fight.
Oh yeah, this is dire straits. You're not going to suffer honor for fighting with your wakizashi right now.
Yeah.
Like, rules of honor kind of go out the window when you're trying to protect your country.
There is no shame in using your honor to protect yourself. Then again, you're speaking. No.
Yeah, so you unsheath and you start like heading through. Are you going to the governor's office?
Yes.
Perfect. Let me do something real quick here.
So,
So
like
you-
stuck at the inn or what?
I was actually about to go back over to you.
Oh, okay.
What I'd like to do. The crane that's with you seems satisfied in staying at the inn and signaling his troops.
Kaji is not like that. He wants to get out on the front lines. So you would probably leave and head for the castle. I mean, before he does, though, he would take a cursory glance around to see if he can see a... No, I keep forgetting her name. Never Mika is what her actual name is.
Mm-hmm. You don't see her, but none of the girls that work here are currently present.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to see if she was around. In that case, to the castle!
She could just be dead. Fuck it. I don't need to go look for her.
No, Kaji has a sense of priorities.
Yeah, you know, emperor first, women later.
And if they
Sorry,
happen to
Batclan's pretty new at the whole for the Emperor thing. Vampire thing.
Mind you, if he knew for a fact that she was in danger, that would change things. But by the looks of it, it looks like all the geishas are hiding somewhere, and it would take precious time for him to find them, just deliver a simple message, which probably won't amount to anything and can do later. This may or may not actually be true, and Chris may be actually using this time to kill her off when I can actually save her, but I can't possibly know that. So
In the end, you're trying to save the woman who's going to love you and then die because of it.
And seppuku. Got it.
Okay.
Let's go.
So, where are you heading, Miyamoto?
to the castle, fastest route.
Okay, you're actually really close to it. You don't even need to make an athletics check, because it's pretty much a straight shot line over to the castle from where you are. Okay, and so you. Let me do this real quick here. There. So yeah, you head over to the castle, and like I said, it's being blockaded by lions. There are crane spearmen that show up, and the lion are almost expecting there to be resistance, but the crane start securing the walls, and their pikes are like up, poised, ready to strike any zombie that tries to like walk over the wall or anything like that.
Okay.
You can see that there is tensions between them, so you may want to inform the crane, the lion, that the crane are here to help.
Yes, I will do so. It's like, worry not, Lion and Crane, for you are allies in this fight. Our enemies are them, the monsters.
Okay. The Taisa sees you, and he shouts over. He says, "Dragon, you have joined us. My men are securing the wall. I see you've brought allies as well. Excellent. With any luck, the Emperor will smile upon us this day."
Indeed, I hope so as well. Let us not prove him wrong. I just draw my swords.
Okay. The lionesses are going to go to cut the ropes, and take care of that. We're going to go back to Komori. Komori, you are able to cut her off the post because she's just tied on there, and it's really just going to take one swing of the sword to cut those lines. But to get her out of here and not get attacked, you're going to need to make an athletics check. If not, the zombies are going to try and swarm the two of you.
If I don't think I can actually fight off any zombies, or is it just that many zombies?
There's tons of them. They would swarm you at this point. Like, to get through the crowd, like it's not even that they attack you at this point. It's you have to avoid them.
I hate swarms. I will make my athletics check to.
By the way, you thought you saw Kikita run by.
He can take care of himself. When she's safe, I will then make a decision about.
Did you say a Kikita or the Kikita?
I said,
He said
you think you saw Kikita run by, so the Kikita.
all I can say is this, right? Dude can take care of himself.
Yep.
Simple as that. He's got priorities. I got priorities. We all got priorities.
Okay. So yeah, you know the easiest way off this wall is actually to go the direction that horseman left on. Go up that ramp and over the wall.
Yeah, but is that the safest option?
You don't know what's on the other side of the wall from where you are.
You're right. I'm gonna go that. I'm gonna go on the wall. I'm gonna do that
But
anyways.
there are far less zombies on the wall right now, so.
Which is why I'm going to do that.
Okay.
You said an athletics check, right?
Yep. By the way, she is unconscious, so you're dragging her again.
All right. I'm gonna do this with a raise to make sure I do this safely.
Mm-hmm.
$30.
Okay. With a 30, you'll get up to the wall, and you'll see what's down there. There's a big pile of hay. There's also a dead horse. If you align yourself correctly, you should be able to hit the hay and land fine.
Even with her?
Yes. She'll land on top of you and probably wind you, but I mean, unless you really botch your jump, you should both come out fine.
I will try my best not to botch my jump.
Okay. It doesn't really take anything. Your raise was enough, So you just kind of leap over the wall and you get over to safety. There's a couple pikemen that come around the side, and they see you coming out of the straw with her unconscious. What do you do to respond to them?
What kind of pikemen? Like who are they?
They're Crane,
Crane.
specifically the Sume family, because you'll notice they're Mons.
Mm-hmm. I will. If they're coming to notice me, is right? Just to make sure.
Well, they're actually paying attention to the wall. They've got their pikes like they're up
Right.
against the wall, like they're ready to stab things that are coming over. But they do notice you because you came off the wall.
Yeah. So when they're coming over, I'll be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Just trying to get her to safety.
Go around. The dragon and the Taisa are controlling things. If you need a medic, there should be one there as well.
Thank you. I will pick her up, and I will look for the other two.
Okay. We will flash over to C, who is making his way over to the gate now, after kind of getting the Iron Fans to assist in helping corral the problems.
Good job.
All right.
As you come up, you'll see the Lion Clan captain or Taisa, and then you'll see the dragon, and you'll see that, like, you'll kind of pan the field, and you'll see Komori coming around with the unconscious Ron Maru.
Okay. Yeah, I'll hop down to help Dietrich in case she's hurt.
Okay. The Iron Fans, by the way, how they're helping the situation, just to give you context, is they're putting out the fires in the city, because things could get really bad if those don't get taken care of.
All right.
Hey man, someone's got to do it.
Yeah, when you arrive, they pretty much have you help with keeping the wall secure, which there's not going to be any roles associated with that. You're just going to be helping out with, like, putting up a barricade and stuff like that.
Have I jumped down yet into the off the wall?
Yes, you're in the courtyard. You're actually going across the courtyard to get to the office.
Okay.
Which actually we're going to go over to you, which should finalize this whole thing. We did go a little bit past, but we had a conversation at the beginning that there's no work tomorrow, so everybody is fine with sticking around a little bit later. So you head across the courtyard, and you're going to find dead bodies, and one such dead body is actually going to be the Crane, the Crane swordsman,
The Shirito user.
Mm-hmm. Daidoji. He has actually been nailed to the wall of the castle itself. He's upside down. His abdomen's been cut open, and his guts have been spilled. You know that's how Maho users typically divine the future. Well, they don't typically do it in this gruesome of a manner. Like, this was definitely done on purpose to torture the Daidoji before he died. And he was denied an honorable death, essentially, and that's something that you're going to notice through coming through.
Well, he doesn't care about honor. He was a Shirito user, a scumbag.
Yes, but you follow Bushido, so I'm just letting you know that according to your beliefs.
Yep, nope, I agree, but I have a disdain for Shirito users.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do not serve as well in the wall.
Absolutely. So you head through, and you're actually going to find Tagashi next. Nezuru has been beheaded, and his body looks like it's been mutilated.
He's the dragon one, right?
He is the dragon. His body has been mutilated. And as you get to the office, you're actually going to see...
For the record, every body we come across, if like the pinned body of the Daidoji, I take down, and I put my Wakizashi through his head.
Mm-hmm.
And when we see the dragon, I'll put my Wakizashi through his head.
The dragon's decapitated. He can't be a zombie.
Okay.
So there's no need to worry about that. Yeah, the next person that you come across is actually Agasha Akoto, the male.
The male.
Phoenix. And he's bleeding, and it looks like his bones have been broken. Like his legs, like his femur is sticking out of his skin, and his shin and kneecap have been pushed really far back. Like his kneecap is just gone. Whatever did this had an immense amount of strength to do something ridiculous.
Is he
like
dead?
That. He's alive. But he's close to death.
I'm gonna pop a heal spell on him.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just verify that I'm doing this correctly. $41.
Okay. He weakly tries to stop you, and he's like, "Don't go in there. Save my sister. She can't help it."
I hit him with the spell.
Hmm. He's just weakly commenting at you. He's not actually trying to stop you. All you have is a screen door, and then you're in the office.
I'm gonna drag him with us.
Okay. Yeah, so you open up the door, and inside you see Isawa Akiko, the female. She's got her hair and kimono are like in the wind, cinematically breezing, and she's got her hands stuck to the circle, and it looks like she's trying to pull it away, but she just can't. And every time she gets it just a little bit further away, a pulse of magic energy like explodes in the room, and it actually takes you back for a second. It's going to cause you to get 5 wounds, just as you're taken back by this energy you weren't expecting.
Okay.
And you're going to hear Akoto behind you kind of scream out in pain, and you're going to hear like fingers breaking on him because he's so close to death. It's writhing pain for him.
Okay. Even though I just healed him for fucking crazy.
It's because he's been so damaged. It's cinematic at this point.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to. Save the sister. I look at the lionesses, and I will.
They've gone to the rooftops to try and cut the lines, because you were told that the Jade Magistrates had gone to the 3rd rooftop to try and get out of here. It's going to suddenly occur to you that you've accounted for every Jade Magistrate, and they were all in the castle, not
except
on
for
the 3rd
one.
roof. No, you have both Phoenix, the Crane, and the Dragon.
No, the Crane Shirito, the Crane Jade Magistrate has not been accounted for.
He was the one that was nailed to the wall upside down.
You said that was the Shirito user, the mercenary, unless that was a mistake on your end.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you are correct. Daidoji Kagore is the one that's missing the magistrate. The Shirito using mercenary, for lack of a better term, he's a Yojimbo, is the one that was nailed to the wall.
So I will. I'll look at her, and I'll say, "There's only one way I can think of doing this," and I will pull my last fire spell for the day. It's the Flaming Katana.
Mm-hmm.
And I will draw, and I will slice her arm off at the mid forearm.
Okay. I'm fine with that. I will need a attack roll that hits her target number. So, if you would like to do more damage or anything heinous like that, you can call for raises.
To be fair,
you can also call for raises to pull your punch. That way, you don't kill her by accident.
I'll call for 1 raise. 2 raises. She's a Shigenja.
Okay, that 2 raises will allow you to pull your punch, by the way.
$44.
Okay. So with that, you chop off her hand, and she screams and holds a smoking stump, which is instantly cauterized by your spell. And she hits the ground, and the pulsing just kind of like shatters the circle, and it's finally done. Her hand hits the ground, and it looks like this blackened, sapped mess, like it's been drained of any sort of life that it may have once held.
What is?
Her hand.
The leftover hand.
Oh.
Yeah. It's almost like a drained husk sitting on the floor now. The circle finally stopped. There are zombies in the courtyard, but there's no more coming in. Eventually, word gets out, and the lion opened the gates, and the lion soldiers kind of flood in and just clean house with the zombies.
Okay.
it's kind of like a cinematic die down, and you have this like euphoric feeling coming out. The two Phoenix are alive. The Daidoji was discovered on the third roof by one of the lions, and he is unharmed.
Dick Monkey left his shitbags behind.
It probably doesn't mean anything, but like I would also think that Kaji would be with the lions on the charge, because that's what you do.
Yeah, you all would be there as helping out, like slaying these random zombies that are still around.
I hope that you find Toshiro just going to fucking town with his Wakizashi, because for the record, I roll 6k3 on my attack with the Wakizashi.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
I
man.
roll even more on that flame katana that I whipped out.
Hey, I roll better with my unarmed in my katana than I do with the weapons I want to use. Okay?
Absolutely. So, yeah, the smoke kind of clears, and it's that after battle kind of like weird cinematic view with the camera shifting around, and like buildings are still kind of being smoldered out, and you kind of assess who's lived. The only one who is unharmed is Daidoji Kogore. The Phoenixes are injured. Even Taisa Otomo Daisetsu is injured a little bit. You assess the situation, and a lot of them did not get tainted from the assaults, or if they did, it's not enough for you to be able to detect at the moment.
I'm going to look at the Daidoji, and I assume that I'm that anime after battle, like one of my arms is hanging limp and dead, and the flame katana is still in my hand, and I'm breathing heavily, and I assume that the party will form up behind me, so we cinematic anime expression.
Whoa,
and I'll just,
there's only one. That's the expression. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Right there.
And I'll just look at him, and I'll say, "You're the only one unharmed, and someone had to do this."
He looks at you like knowing that you're calling him out, and he starts to talk, and just blood flows from his mouth, and you see like this arm start to come out from where his tongue should be. He is far gone down the taint track. He's mutated appendages and stuff.
Stabby.
Mutated an arm in his mouth.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
That's why he can't talk very well. It's like a little baby's arm is sticking out from where his tongue should be, and it's like whipping around, and like it smacks him in the face, and he draws a sword.
His strong arm.
Like you guys are able to put him down before anything, but like you have this sudden realization that like yeah, he definitely was the one that trapped her in there.
I'm keeping this cocksucker's head.
It would not be proper to do so.
It would not be proper to pike him?
No, it would not.
No.
Not unless you were to do it like on the wall, like piking him and leaving him in the castle here. Totally not acceptable for normal Rikugan society.
Well, the problem is I'm a crab, and I go to crab school, and I feel like this is really my first job at.
Like you would pike him and present him to the troops, but you wouldn't leave him on the castle wall.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna pike him, and I'm just going to raise it up, and I'm gonna look over at the other crab with the cannon when they finally get there. To just raise him up, and I'm going to look at the party, and I'm going to say, and today I call you my friends. I look at Miyamoto and be like, some more than others.
By the way, you are low on tea, and you know for a fact your entire group has experienced some taints. So you've already kind of discussed with them about Crablands. Your mission here is complete. Everybody knows that peace is to happen. The treaty gets signed. Is it your guys' intention to travel to the Crablands and find some sort of way to cope with your new taint?
Negative. At first, we have to wait for the witch hunters to show up. Now that everything's done.
Right. Well, the witch hunters will show up. That's part of like the closing out, because like this is the end of our first story arc. So like everything that you guys have set into motion is going to complete. So like witch hunters will show up. I'm just asking, what is your next intended path so I can plan appropriately?
I vote we go to the wall, because obviously there's much more to
Like
And I
this
look
is this is that scene as after the credits have rolled by and the music is still on, where they're talking about, well, what do we do next?
Shawarma.
This is
Shawarma?
our shawarma scene.
Mhm.
No. Our shawarma scene is the dinner. My mother was.
Oh my God,
His
yes!
mother.
Yeah,
was
you
gonna have
guys
for
are
us.
having the discussion finally with his mother there, and she scolded you at the beginning of the scene about how like you put off this dinner for too long, and that she doesn't care if there were zombies in the city. You were invited to her house.
I'll look at everybody and say, well, we probably need to know more than we used to about everything. I'm heading back to school.
That is something I can sympathize with
I-
you. Although there are some things I have learned I don't want to know more about.
It is often said that the duty of the dragon is to watch, and I suppose someone has to watch your back.
I would like to meet the great Cooney Smiths.
Caillou.
Caillou.
Caillou and Cooney are different things, man.
I understand. It was a slip of
Um,
Caillou. Sorry to insult you, apparently.
Thank you, Dietrich. First time he's ever called you Dietrich.
Ron,
suppose it wouldn't have
Ron
gone-
Burley-
I'll say no. Hold on, Chris. I was actually trying to say something, but everybody comes. I was gonna say while I would agree to seeing the crab lands, I still have a duty to fulfill.
the Batlands are actually on the way. I was about to say, and Ron Maru
The
has asked you
Crablands?
for an escape to a guide. Yes. Well, they can be kind of a deal.
There are. a
I'm
few-
getting. I might be getting the map wrong in my head then.
Let me double check real quick, because I got to figure out
'Cause
where.
I thought the Crablands were on the side of the Shadowlands,
Yep.
and but the Batlands are on the islands, which are on the east side, which is where the Mantis lands are. The Mantis Islands.
Yes, they are part of a smaller set of islands that are relatively there, but when I said that there's a roundabout way to get there, if you were to it's polite company and they've already helped you through this far. If you were to say I have to make a stop home, it's more likely that they probably agree to do it anyways, because you guys have forged a friendship.
By all rights, I could try to see if we get a boat.
Right.
Yeah, I will. All right, then I'll bring that up. So yeah, after I say I still have a duty to complete, I'll say if you permit yourself to following my lead on this, we could. If you were to allow me to go back home first, I could try my best. We should probably be able to get a boat to head over to the Crablands.
Do you think we're honestly gonna let you take Ranmaru home by yourself? You barely know how to use that thing. What kind of bushi would we be if we just let you die on
Hold
the
on.
way home?
I just want to make sure when you say use the thing, are
What
you
kind of samurai would you be?
I just have to make sure with something. When you say use that thing, are you pointing out my gauntlet?
No, I'm pointing at your katana.
Oh, I look at my katana. It was never my strong suit, which is why I took training in other fashion. But I thank you for your company.
Good Bryce.
I just have a few odds and ends I have to wrap up here, but I'm with you.
Okay.
So
I
I think
wish-
Yeah.
What's up, Murdoch?
I wish to make peace with the female Shigenja because I had to cut off her fucking,
Oh, you mean the one you were trying to?
Yeah, absolutely.
before?
This
And
is
I'm gonna want to talk to
essentially
her.
the epilogue, so you guys have full control.
You're
to
the girl I
say,
was trying to
what
boo.
happens.
I'm sorry I had to
Okay.
cut your hand off.
yeah.
She understands, but she's going to apologize to you because she feels that she has become so tainted now that it would be dishonorable for her to continue to pursue your affections. She'll give you her return haiku that she wrote, or her return poem that she wrote for you, and she says, "Keep this with you and do not forget about me."
I will. Where do you head next?
I will be going to see the witch hunters. They have told me that they will provide me a home with less stress, and I will be relieved of my duties as a Jade Magistrate. I do not wish to fall as he did, and she refuses to say his name.
I understand. Your brother, is he making a speedy recovery? I put all that I could into that spell, but there was so much damage already done. And I give her a very sullen look.
She kind of smiles and she says, because it's just you two in the room when you're talking to her, she says, he is stubborn. He will heal, and he is determined to go repay his debt to you. He speaks of next winter, joining the wall.
Toshiro will smile widely, then he'll say, "Nothing would please me more. I so hate the courtly affairs, so I tend to stay myself on the wall for the winters as well. Plus, my master is always complaining that I don't spend enough time on the wall, even though he himself ventured away from it for a large portion of his youth."
Akuto believes that there is a debt he needs to pay. He has counted the lives that you have saved here, and he believes that a Shadowlands creature needs to die for each life that you saved to be able to repay it. I feel that I may never see him again, but I know that what he does is honorable. If you can check on him when winter arrives.
I will make sure that they keep an eye on him. He will not go into the Shadowlands alone.
She nods and she breaks etiquette because you're alone, and she embraces you in a hug.
I'll look stunned for a moment, like I did not expect this, and I will hug her back. I'll say, "Are you traveling with the witch hunters?"
Yes. They're going to take me to a village outside of the Kuni Lands. It is for people like me, so that we do not get exposed further, and that we can help each other with a support system.
I understand. I will.
You know exactly what she's talking about. There's a couple hundred villages outside of the Kuni that have people who have been tainted, that also happen to have Kuni family members as the people in charge of those villages.
Yeah. I will say then perhaps I will see you again. I've been to several of them, and I will need to tell you how your brother is doing. I'm sure that he'll give you the standard letter from the wall that says, "Everything is good. I have killed X many things. Enjoy your evening."
She smiles and she says, "I doubt that even the wall could knock out his flowery writing."
The crab can do that to a person.
Miyamoto, would you like to do anything for an epilogue of this story bit?
Yes.
He needs to get a woman killed.
Well, first, I'm going to buy the supposedly dead woman some perfume, because she gave me a gift a while back, and I need to give her one in return.
Absolutely.
Except she's dead. Zombie got her.
She is a zombie. No.
Oh, God, that'd be
I'm
horrible.
voting for zombie. I'm really
no.
hoping
This
she's a
entire
zombie.
time, she's the big bad evil.
Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah, you go find her. She is actually fine.
All right.
Damn it!
She has some battle
Wow.
scars, but she is not like mortally wounded or nursing a zombie bite or anything crazy.
She must not love you yet.
Wait, my battle scars, can you tell me, like, these were just defensive battle scars, or was she actually, like, killing things?
You can't tell. They do look like they were done with weapons.
Interesting.
But you do know she's blind.
Well, let's just say I've heard many a tale of a blind swordsman.
Yes, there is word that's been circulating around the kingdoms that there is a blind swordsman school.
And she happens to be of the clan, so not exactly going to count that one out yet. So, yeah, I'll hand her the perfume. How do I handle this?
As a geisha, she will accept your gift without you having to prompt her 3 times.
Nice.
That saves a couple extra seconds.
You barely have to present it to her, too. She's at the Jade Pearl Inn trying to get the other girl settled in, and it's kind of a nice scene between the two of you having like a quiet moment together. And she tells you, before you go, I would like to give you something, and she pulls out a ribbon from her hair, and she'll give it to you, and it's the standard wood louse color, which is kind of a canvasy color. It's not very colorful at all. But it's the ribbon that belongs in her hair. It's a token from her, and you know you have a quiet evening of having rice together without really saying anything. And then when you go to leave the Jade Pearl Inn, you kind of breathe a sigh of relief because she hasn't died. And you kind of think to yourself, you know, maybe the fortunes are looking out for me this time.
All right.
And then
And
she
then a
bursts into
ninja hops
flames.
out of the shadows. Yeah.
Not yet. I promise it'll count.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa! We have to make all our fares in this ninja. It's a zombie ninja, okay?
It has to be a
Sounds-
super dramatic moment, right when it hurts the most and cripples me mid-battle.
Yep.
Because seriously, that's what it will do.
That's my plan for all things L5R.
Hey, man.
Use your disadvantages against you in ways that will help my bad guys.
Hey. My bad guy was my disadvantage, and he used a non-disadvantage against me.
Yes, because you're getting personally attached to someone, and he's your Joker, so of course he's going to go after her.
I have to stop getting attached to people then. It's the only way.
You got to learn
Okay,
the Batman
Batman.
lesson. For Ron Maru and you happen to have a nice scene where it's you guys having dinner at the local bat place after the cutaway, and Katina, the hostess there, will give you things to bring back with you to the Bat Clan, which is basically a backpack full of random things for your family, because being a minor clan, you're all kind of family. Like, there's different households, but you all share the same name, technically.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. We're all family.
Mm-hmm. And she'll give you a list of people that it goes to, and you're such a close-knit community that you're like, oh yeah, I know who that is. I know where they live.
Down the street, around the corner. I will, thank you. I'll make sure everybody receives these gifts. I'm sure they'll be happy.
Okay. So a fun question: would you like a bat?
What?
Are you sure that's a question?
Are you trying to give me the fat bat?
I was gonna say, would you like a pet bat? Because the fat, hungry one has taken a liking to you. Because you have been soft, and every time you've interacted with that bat, you've given him food.
Oh my god.
The answer is yes. You want the bat.
I have to say yes. I have to have a fat bat.
Well, she sees that the bat has taken a liking to you, and she says, he misses home. And she kind of leaves the table, and you know that she's basically, like, very politely being like, if you would like to take the bat, you can.
How would I say Well, I know. I don't think I would just be taking. I would.
Yeah,
should- I should-
I was gonna say the appropriate response to it to be socially fine would just be to simply say, "Then I shall take him home," or something similar to that.
All right. Well, lucky enough, I am headed that way. He might. I'd be able. I'd be willing to bring him along.
I'm sure he would love to see his home again. Take good care of my friend.
I will. Thank you. Now we'll make sure to prepare food for him on the way. He likes his fruit.
Yep. You have a male bat who's slightly overweight named Daigo. He is now your pal, and he will hide in your kimono.
I swear to God, it's ridiculous because I'm gonna get tied up one of these days, right? And I'm gonna have to use him. He's gonna come out of my kimono randomly. I'm like, you have to chew your weight out of my ropes.
And I've got a bat on my sleeve.
For C, you have a nice scene where your mother simply leaves you a pack, and you try to have that conversation of I don't know if I want to go, and she's like, get out of my house, go see the world.
I would like to, if this is our last scene inside the city, I will deliver Itoshi's or Tomi's response to my daimyo.
Oh, absolutely. So the letter was you were simply to deliver the letter.
Right, and the response from Hitoshi was acceptance.
Yes. You tell your daimyo, and he says, very well. Tell no one of this.
Very well. Does it feel like there's something weird about it?
It does. You know it would also not be your place to question.
I know. That's why I went with that. And I will go see my master actually before I leave too. Tsun, the one who told me about my father, because
yeah, and Sisun is a sinewy old man who's bald and beardless, and he looks like he's been in the fireplace too long. His muscles are really tight on him. He's not a big man, but he's definitely compact. When you see him, he's cooling a sword and kind of looking down the blade to make sure it's perfect, and he seems to kind of frown, and he just tosses it in a bucket full of other flawed swords. Like a normal swordsmith would think that that's good to go, sell it. He found some minor imperfection that may just be in his head, but you've grown accustomed to him.
I'm leaving the city. I thought I might make a spear for Governor Tsume before I leave in honor of his son. But I thought I might ask you a question first before I start my work.
Of course, there is spare metal, and he looks over at the bucket of swords that he's decided are useless, and he kind of picks up his smith's apron and he wipes his hands off with it, and he says, "Let's sit down. What is your question, student?"
You told me when I came of age that my father died from some inherited disease that caused him to die slowly while I was very young. I've seen the same symptoms that have been described to me in another, and he was tainted. If there's anything more that you didn't tell me, I wish to know before I leave. I'm going to the wall with my new companions. You're muted, Chris. Yeah.
I hate this when this headset comes out. He goes, I do not know enough about taint to be able to say whether your father was tainted or not. the Crablands may be your best place to go. They may have more information for you. I pray to to the ancestors that that is not the case. I believe your father to be too good of a man to succumb to such evil. It may be similar, but I refuse to believe that he would. And you should as well.
I do. But I will find answers. And besides, I've yet to meet one of the great Caillou Smiths, and there's always more to learn.
Of course. Before you go, student, and he reaches underneath a desk and he pulls out a nicely bound leather tome that has the Oriole clan seal on it, and he says, "I could not afford a pen as well, but this should help you. Take good notes." And he'll slide the book over to you. It's just a journal, but it is kind of an expensive journal that he has purchased for you.
Thank you, Master. I will.
Now go. The fire in the forge is getting low. Like, he cuts you off before you start to get sentimental at all, which is pretty par for the course for him.
I smile and nod, and while I have not yet been hit on the head, and I'll start work on that spear. We can do side RP for that later, I guess, so it doesn't eat up time. And the last thing he does before he leaves the city is so I guess a little.
Hold on real quick. You said I get to work on that right as soon as you said he hasn't hit me in the head, so I get to work on that. I just wanted to be like, wait a minute, you're working to get your master to hit you in the head?
No, so I get to work on the spear. Which
no,
I
know, it just made me laugh.
And the last thing he does before he leaves the city is another thing he's working on after he does the spear is he'll be at a shrine with a shrine, and you'll see it's dedicated to different sea family members, and he leaves a really ornately crafted little bird that fits in the size of a hand at the one point on the shrine, and you'll see there's a whole line of them going down. Each one looks each one on the line looks slightly better than the others, and there's wear on each of them as you go down as well from the weather.
Okay.
He'll put it down and he will leave.
And that's pretty much it for tonight and this first story arc. I promise not every story arc is going to be, Maho catastrophe. This was more to kind of get you guys in the mood of L5R and get the ball rolling with a kind of a bang there. When we go off air, I just want to keep you guys for a minute longer, so just stick with me here. As far as that goes, you guys all know the cast by now. We're just going to do introductions at the beginning, and we're not going to do sign-outs and stuff. But as far as that goes, thanks everybody for tuning in, watching, and liking, subscribing, and sharing. If you are interested to see how I did combat, if you go to Absolute Tabletop, there is a supplement called Be a Better Battle Master by Michael Barker. He put that together, and I used the flowchart. It worked out to be really great, and this will actually go up on the website as well.
We get to see all
lose
the
his
things
hand waving. And yeah, you guys have a great night. Thanks for tuning in, and see you at the gaming table.